Swageki.
Should I
You
meet?
literally just have to be smarter than a squid.
Okay.
Don't mess this
You're
up.
helping me too. Do I stop as...
And we're back, if you can believe that. Campfire Quest continues its 24-hour marathon, 4 hours deep. And the normal Campfire Quest adventurers that you see around the table have been replaced by a different set of adventurers that I also DM and play with. This is my Sunday night crew. Good to see you guys on Sunday night.
Yeah.
It's exactly our time and everything. How convenient.
Wow.
So convenient.
It's the only way I could make sure you would all be here. We have been playing this particular game for almost a solid year. And on almost a solid year. And look at you guys all fit on the screen and everything for the most part. That's really cool.
Look at us. Awesome.
I will say, and this is good for the audience to know, the game that you're playing, the adventures that you're on, are taking place in the same world as the other adventures that we've been hearing about. And so it's entirely possible that you guys could bump into them. I mean, right now you're in different places and you don't know they exist, but I just mean it's possible. It's the same place.
Let's find them.
Our new adventure.
Yeah. Let's abandon everything and just go find them.
Sorry, Dommerling, no time for you.
Dumber who?
Dumber. Who?
Dummerling.
What?
Just a baby.
He's 17. He can take it.
He's 18 now.
Oh, right.
He missed his birthday.
He's the king.
Oh, we suck.
All right.
We missed his birthday.
Just so the audience is aware, the adventurers that you see at this table have been adventuring in the land of Crastra. And in Crastra, they've been helping kings and queens. And they've been helping paupers and monsters. They help everybody. Sometimes it's successful, and sometimes, as it goes, it's not. But for the most part, they've been moving forward in a very positive way. And before we get too much further into this adventure, I'm going to have them tell you who they are. Not only who they are here in our world, but more importantly for you guys, who they are in this adventuring world. So take it away, guys. No particular order.
I'll go first. Hi, I'm Charles Frey. I play Swageki Waterknot. He's a rock gnome. He's level 6. He's a 5 level wizard, 1 level cleric. So he's like dabbling in that whole being a healer-ness.
His name is Swageki?
Swageki. Yes. Swageki Waterknot. That's it. And he is he's a very fire-based wizard who is like, worked at a church. Church got burned down. He's very vengeance. You don't mess with him. If you're a bandit, stay away. He really doesn't like bandits. That's what I'll say.
No problem at all killing off some bandits if they do this. Who's next?
Alright, I'm Kaylin Estron. In this campaign, I play Bartholomew, or Bart, who is a half-elf ranger. Bart's story is basically found the rest of these adventurers through almost going to prison with them, and me and Marcone, who you'll meet in a second, were friends in the military. So,
Yeah,
there's
word.
that.
Well, I'm Parker Gillette. I play Alma Eatson, who is a high elf. He's also a warlock, and he's a dumb bitch.
But wait, where'd that accent go?
Unfortunately,
No, wrong character.
New subscriber.
Subscriber.
oh wow.
Subscriber.
Subscriber. Like on YouTube?
It's just like YouTube or Facebook's.
Whoa.
Is this like that Facebook
Instagram.
thing I heard about?
Who was
Finnemans.
Hey.
Oh, no.
Sounds like a loser.
God.
Sounds like some...
You guys are crazy. He's my new hero. Alma, I was just noticing that your accent is, well, not the same as some others I've heard.
Yeah, Alma's is a little not there.
I see.
Yeah, he has a deeper kind of voice, and he's a little more jumpy, so he stutters a little bit. But other than that, he's just kind of plain. He grew up by the ocean, and that's kind of all everybody knows about him so far.
Okay. All right.
Mystery.
It is rather mysterious, yes. How about down at the end of the table?
Well,
Who's pithing me off with that pith helmet?
I get it, because the helmet. You'll know me as Reef Gillette, and the character that I'm playing as is Marcone, a barbarian who grew up in poverty and joined the military, trying making a name for himself, before then leaving the military, realizing that's not how that works, and then went to jail for leaving the military, and now I'm friends with all of you guys.
Well,
Most of you guys!
Dang. Alright, hello, I'm Lisa Smith, and I'm playing the part of Hagatha Bones, who is a human as far as you know, and is a cleric of the Grave Domain and a devout follower of the Raven Queen.
oh, I'm so excited to play you guys.
We haven't been together for about a month because more than half of our adventurers were graduating from high school.
Yeah, we're a little bit busy.
They have now completed that journey, and they've now got the entire summer off to sit around and think
Focus
about
on this.
Yeah,
Dungeons and
exactly.
Dragons exclusively.
Nothing else.
No more
Only
learning
this.
about math and doing the math. Oh, I messed up. But, you know, you get the idea. Rolling
Yeah,
dice.
with the probability.
Yeah.
you got it.
D20, as they're called. 5.
Well, let's go ahead and begin this particular adventure by making sure we all know where we are. We won't get into the details of how part of the group seemingly disappeared and then reappeared. We'll instead focus on the fact that as a group, you've now crash-landed an airship, a lighter-than-air ship, a large blimp-like airship that really was going down pretty fast and almost crashed into some mountains. But
We delicately landed it.
you
Without
did. You
breaking it,
delicately
mind
landed.
It went really well.
And let's just keep in mind that you had a couple options. You could have delicately landed in the mountains, but through some amazing rolling, and let's be clear, some pretty dexterous movements, you guys were able to finagle the controls to guide the crashing ship through the mountains so that they instead landed on the other side in the meadows. The last you heard, this was a really fortunate thing to happen, because in the mountains where you didn't crash were a lot of very angry rock golems waiting for you.
That would suck.
You bypassed them and landed your now heavier than airship in the meadow, and it got away from you for a while. The wind picked it up and tried to blow it along for a ways, but you caught up to it. You've anchored it to the ground, and now here you are surrounding the ship. And while you don't know much about lighter than airships, you do have several people from the ship that were transporting you. They're seeing to the repairs. And your old friend, the Queen Do Nabor, who was traveling with you, walks up and says, "I'm not sure exactly how you saved us, but it sure is nice to be back here and to be alive and to see that we've got some hope of getting home again." This is a really, really odd turn of events, but I was just speaking to the captain, and it looks like we're going to be about half a day here before they can get the air refilled and heated up enough for us to take off. It's about noon now, so I'd like to think that as the sun's going down, we'll be able to take off and get out of here. We have supplies. There's no reason to go anywhere, but you know, if you guys want to look around this area, you're welcome to do that, or you can stay with us here. What would you like to do?
Do you know anything about this area, or is this...
Oh, no.
No?
This is an area that I usually see from about, 10,000 feet. Yeah, I get to see it as a little speck down there. This isn't a normal landing place for us. It looks safe enough. The captain didn't seem worried about any kind of danger. He invited me, in fact, to go on a stroll nearby. I might take him up on it. I like to see the area. You know, this isn't my kingdom, of course, but I'm a student of the world.
Wow.
Is there anything we can do to help with the repairs of the ship, or are we
At this point, they said it's all up to them. They're pumping air in using magic, and they're heating air up using magic. It's if they do it any faster than they're doing it, they could damage that bladder that they use to create the airbag. So at this point, as long as we let them do their job, we should be out of here by sunset.
I have a quick question.
Sure, Oma.
Yeah. What is happening? Just like I know we crash landed an airship and stuff.
Yeah,
When
we
I
did.
reappear? Like, do I know like everything? Like, have we
Yes,
had
everybody
discussions and
everybody
stuff?
caught you up.
Okay.
We're
it's just 5 years
bypassing
later.
the disappearing and the returning and just
Yeah.
Okay.
We're back
I just
together.
want to like
The stones are gone.
know.
You guys spent about 15 minutes discussing the odd disappearance and reappearance of one another, and then, for whatever reason, never spoke of it again.
Okay.
That was kind of weird anyway.
That happened.
Neat.
You guys want to go take a look around? We've got time to kill. I don't really feel like sitting around.
We could walk around, see if there's anything we could do. Maybe, well, I don't know.
Maybe we can find a lake. You want a lake, Swagaki?
A lake
there
sounds
Could
good.
be like a
lake.
river.
I like lakes.
Water?
Things
We
like
could.
that.
Yeah.
Go to
We
water.
could go swimming.
Does anybody know what
Last time we did
is
that,
in this
nothing went
area?
wrong.
Is this a civilized area?
Wasn't the mountains somewhat dangerous? I'm not sure. I know there were some worries, but I'm not sure how much.
I know I saw some movement. I think it was rock golems, but I don't know about anything else. Like in this area, at least.
So you guys can decide. You've got people you could talk to. You've got observations you could make. So you could talk to each other about what you want to know, or you could say, "I'm going to do this," and then do it.
How about we just go take a look around? I mean, we can take care of ourselves, you know? It's not like the witch is gonna come after us again.
Nothing we can't handle.
No, she's in my bag of holding.
Is she still?
How did we forget?
Is oh right,
See
weren't
that
we
here.
waiting a week so we could talk to this guy?
Worst comes to worst,
Yeah,
we throw the
might have some
corpse and run, you know?
conversations, you know.
Okay.
We'll be fine. Here, let's go.
Let's do it.
We head off.
I guess yeah. Let's look for like nearest water. I guess like maybe.
Just trying to
See
take a nice
water.
walk around the surrounding area.
Is
Maybe
it just flat until the mountain? Can
We could
see
make our own
anything?
water with his infinite water.
We
Can we
could.
look out?
That's a good question.
Can we see anything of interest?
The first thing that you do, now that you've decided to go out and about, is you walk around the downed airship that's been tethered to the ground, and you guys all individually look out in the world around you. Behind you, not too far off, 3 or 4 fantasy football fields away, are the foothills of the mountain. The mountains rise out of the ground quickly, and so there are a few bumps and then sheer rock that goes up. You guys are in a chevron shape of where 2 mountains were rising, and you've landed there, so it's almost a triangle of grasslands. And when you make it out to the end of the mountain ridges on the right and left of you, based on what you're seeing, it looks like it opens up into more grasslands. As far as bodies of water, you don't see any just by glancing around.
Well, just for the record, we do have a flying carpet.
Oh,
We
Hagrid,
do.
you're
Scout
so
it out.
smart.
It's in the bag of holding with the corpses.
Delicious.
We should get that washed.
Yeah.
Don't
Carpet
worry about
washer.
it.
Does anybody want to take a
Reminds Hagatha of home.
Ah.
quick stroll in the air? If nobody wants to, I'll gladly do it.
I'm down.
I'll hitchhike
I'm down.
with it.
Anytime.
How many of us can fit on the carpet again?
All of us, if
Yeah, I
we
think
try.
we put all of us on it before.
Was it like we're all kind of awkwardly surfing together, or like we're all like
I mean,
Aren't we always off to be surfing
Okay,
together?
clown car.
a little bit goofy? Let's just take a little stroll with the carpet
The carpet
in the
stroll.
air. Oh, carpet
that's called
in
a
the air
fly.
stroll.
A little fly.
Yeah, let's do that. Here, Hagatha, can I have the carpet?
Sure.
Yay.
Mind the blood.
and the eyeball.
The carpet that's unfurled it's rather large. You can all fit on it, but it's a little bit awkward. Not awkward enough to make it impossible or not even practical. It's just not. It'd be like stuffing all of you into a Volkswagen. It's functional. You're just not happy about it. You are on the carpet, and for everybody that's seeing this carpet for the first time, it's a pretty standard carpet color on the surface facing up, in the sense that it's uniform in its color. There's no shapes or anything that you could discern. But if you flip the carpet over and look, you see clouds, and you can even see some lightning that seems to be woven into the carpet. And if you were looking at it for too long, you might kid yourself into thinking that the lightning moves around on the carpet. So as you place that part down, facing down, you guys climb onto it, and as soon as Alma, who puts his foot on it first, steps on it, it rises off the ground about 6 inches and hovers, and that's when the rest of you climb on.
Press no space, please.
Luckily, Goosey can fly.
Oh my god, I forgot. I forgot you have a goose.
Just about to mention the goose too.
That's why I wanted to. Goosey is the best thing.
How big's Goosey looking?
Oh, that's a good question.
Dummy.
Dummy.
How big is Goosey right? Like, is he looking a little bigger than usual?
Well, just because we haven't been together playing doesn't mean that a lot of time has passed.
Right.
Goosey lives in the real world.
He looks
tonight.
about as big as he did when you saw him 5 minutes ago.
Oh, get 3
True. I just don't remember what it was.
Let's do keep in mind that your goose, which you found out is actually a dire goose,
Yeah, he is.
is a juvenile and is growing very rapidly. If you watch daily, he's going to grow about 2 inches taller. Maybe a day hasn't passed since you guys were victorious over the witch, so in that time, he's probably grown his 2 inches. When you look at a goose that's as high as your waist, and with a neck that goes up and down all the time, it's kind of hard to tell when they grow 2 inches. But you do notice a slightly thicker bird, and that's just how you notice his growth.
Dummy.
Slightly thicker bird.
No.
He will not fit on the carpet.
He fly.
That makes perfect sense.
He can fly.
He fly.
He fly.
Dude, he's
But more
looking
than-
fly.
But more than anything, he protect.
He'll be nice and fluffy,
do
but
protect.
skinny.
He attacked, but he also protects.
So we've got Alma with hands on the fringe.
Yeah.
Okay, and Alma, when you steer, you'll be doing a dexterity roll because it's your dexterous hand movements that allow you to steer this group around.
I'm not trying to go anywhere crazy, just like maybe like a little like mile radius around the boat.
Okay.
Oh, airboat.
First roll.
so-
Campaign. Let's go, baby.
The carpet is it's level now, and let's see how sharply you take off.
What is it, Dex? You said
Dex.
11.
Oh.
Yeah, that's slightly better than average, which is enough to keep everybody on the carpet. Had you rocketed off too fast or unexpectedly, crazy stuff happens and we have to check on people. But you managed to keep everything pretty calm, and the carpet rockets up, and you get to a pretty high elevation, almost up to where you think the lighter than airship would be floating around and traveling. And from there you begin to make a big lazy circle, and everybody's looking off of one side or the other and looking down. And it's easy for me to see this in my head. I hope you can see it too. You're again at that place that looks like maybe where my 2 fingers are sticking out. You've landed here, and you're flying around here looking down. You do spot water that you didn't see from the ground. It's way further out here, and it looks like a few rivers converge into a large lake area that's much further out than you are. On the carpet, it might only take you 20 minutes to get there, maybe 30. The rivers aren't coming, there's no body of water or stream flowing in the area where you are. So you're gathering that those others were runoff from the mountains around that are coming around and pooling in this one spot.
What do you think, you guys? You want to field trip this?
I mean, we have a while before the ships put back together, so I'm
That'd be fun.
Let's do it.
Might as well take a trip. All
Listen
right.
along for the ride.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, sky horses. Yeah.
Oh, we could have just taken our horses so we'd be more
You're
comfortable.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already said yeah, so we
Horse
can't go
holiday.
back now.
With that, the carpet gives out a mighty whinny and charges off into towards the horizon.
Is there a gallop?
No, it's a carpet.
Well, I mean, it neighed, so I was kind of.
Well, if any of you want to make galloping sounds,
How many coconut shells?
that's what it would take.
How many horsepower is in this bad boy?
All of them.
Well, we'd have to do like a
Roll a mechanic check.
we'll check magic check. Roll for Arcana.
Me?
Yeah.
Roll that.
I did. No, you said it better than average. 13.
20.
Wow.
It's a 20 horse carpet.
Wow.
Yep.
Big
Pretty
card.
That's
Totally.
why you guys were able to zip across the plain so quickly. As you approach and get closer to this body of water that you saw, it was sparkling in the distance. And when you get closer, that sparkle disappears.
Oh, no, it's on fire.
Lost its spark.
Yep, lost its sparkle. The water that was refracting the sun's light or reflecting it up towards you now seems to be refracting it down. You're able to see into the murky waters in a way that lets you see for a while the bottom of this lake, or more of a, I don't want to call it a lake because it's more like just a convergence of rivers that seem to have overflown, and it's filling up this area. It doesn't seem to be an established lake, or maybe that's just the murky, dirty waters. The water has a black tint to it, and maybe that's the runoff from the mountains that's causing that, or something else. The trees, and there are some in this grassland that have grown up around the riverbank. Some of them are underwater now. That's what's giving you that this area has flooded feeling. But there are several that are still out of the water and on what looks like an established riverbank. The ones that are in the water are dead. Their leaves gone. Their smaller branches have broken off, and just the stumps and the trunks are standing, and some of the thicker branches. The trees that are on the bank of the river, they look fine. They seem to be fine, even though their roots are going directly into the water, clearly, because of where they are. So, that's just what you're observing.
You guys see anything weird down there? Anything moving?
Moving. I don't think so.
You don't.
Oh, I don't.
All right, I'm gonna start bringing her down.
As we're bringing her down, I just kind of like, because you said the water's like black, probably because of the runoff and stuff, and we see into the water. Can I see if I see anything like in the water that isn't just like the bottom, like if there's anything moving, anything like suspicious looking structures mainly?
Yes, we'll definitely do that. Where are you when you ask that, or when you decide you want to look? At what elevation do you think?
Probably, wait a second, like the lowest we get, before, like obviously we're not going in the water, it's like the lowest the carpet gets, I'd say.
Okay, so almost bringing the carpet in, and you want to make this close look when you're about to land.
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to have you.
It's my lucky days.
Part of me, I'm going to have you roll something a little bizarre.
Bizarre.
Deception check.
Crazy.
Skills.
Okay, it's not that crazy.
Oh.
Let's do a nature check.
Nature check. I'm mutually okay with it.
Screams and Ranger.
Natural 20.
Nice.
So 24.
Nice.
I guess I'm not the Ranger.
Natural
There's the new Ranger in the group, huh?
Ranger always intensified.
Gnome wizard ranger.
Yeah, I told him that.
I'm gonna know this water.
I generally don't like to talk about what DCs were or anything and how close anything was, but you specifically needed to roll that.
Okay.
He just sees the water eat something.
Higher up, it would have been easier to see through the water, but you decided to investigate when you got so close that this probably should have been hidden from view. But wow, you really must be in tune with the water based on your upbringing.
Water god.
With
Water god.
you see underneath the water what looks like a giant underwater tree
Ooh.
swoosh, and then it looks like the tree whoosh, disappears under the water.
Trees do that.
Tree or like
That's
big
normal
snake.
behavior for us.
Well, it looked like something with a bunch of branches and maybe a bunch of leaves on the end.
A
I
lobster.
will tell you that while you did see something and you do have that description, it was all so quick that you don't have a really good idea.
Do you move water or just?
Yes.
Free
Well, there's something like that. I think both. All right, gang. I'm just like taking a peek in this water here. I thought it looked normal. There's a big a thick tree just like moving in the water. And when I say moving, I don't mean like. I mean like.
That's why trees don't move.
Okay,
It's
let me
true.
check my
Probably
water.
water.
It does. It did. I saw. Look.
Then it's obviously not a tree.
An
Okay,
aquatic tree.
it looked like a tree. I don't know what else it could be, but it was spooky. Like there's just like a big ass tree in the water. What if it's not a tree?
Maybe jump in, find out.
Bet.
Bet.
I don't think we want to. I mean, he seemed. I think it's a bad idea.
Sogeki.
Me.
You won't.
Don't.
Now he knows.
Swageki's a lot of things. He's a pyromancer. You know, he's a wizard. He's a cleric. He's not a bitch.
Oh no.
Well, kind of. Before I do anything stupid, that's stupid at least. Can't I? I'm pretty sure.
Just die.
I'm gonna pat Sogeki on the back and be like, coward, but I'm also gonna cast mage armor.
So funny thing, the one day shape water would have been dope. Don't have it prepared. But
Take a short rest.
I can destroy water. I'm gonna before I let my body hit the floor. I'm gonna second level. I think would be a smart one. Destroy. Yeah.
Sogeki.
I'm interested. I am intrigued. A 20 by 20 cube of water where I saw that lobster. So like I'm
That's
using
what I think
create
it
or
is.
destroy water to destroy the water there.
How much
Lobster.
water can you destroy?
No one expects
20 by 20
lobsters to
feet.
look like trees. That's
Or
where they
gallons.
get you.
Wait, yep.
Feet.
20 gallons.
Every time.
Is it 20 feet?
Oh no, gallons?
I think it's 20 gallons.
So
Yeah, 20 gallons.
that's like two,
It's a-
or it's like 4 or 5 gallon buckets.
Drop
Yeah, that's
in the-
fine.
Drop in the lake.
Let's at least see what
Okay.
it is.
So you cast that spell. You choose to cast that spell?
Yes.
Okay, so mark that spell off. You cast that spell right where you were looking, where the tree seems to have disappeared. You create that hole in the water, and it opens up. Roll for perception. I'm not gonna. You're looking. I'm not making you do passive.
I think that's a 7.
For a brief moment, it looked like there might have been something there, but the water collapses in on itself, and it's gone.
Does
Is
anyone
this
have
what
a
we're doing?
fishing
Is this what we're
pole?
doing? This is what we're doing. I'm
I have
gonna
a
take
lot
off
of
my
rope.
cloak and take off my 2 hats, hand them to Bart, and
Can we
I'm gonna dive in it.
Nobody can breathe water.
like go down a little bit?
Swageki
Like
dives
something-
off.
Shugeki
we can
dies.
save him?
Oh, we're on the floor. We've
Oh, we're on the floor.
You know, if I was
So
like
I'm just
one
stupid.
level up, I could be able to cast breathe water on all of us for an hour. But what?
Before I tell you what happens, because Swageki just jumped in,
Yeah, which by
I'm
the
going
way,
to let
why?
all of you guys, because you're new to the stream, know that the table is wobbly as crap. And so you're not supposed to lean on it or
Uh-oh.
move around or bang on it, because then it looks like there's an earthquake.
There is.
If you ever cast Earthquake, then you can definitely hit the table and reinforce that with a visual.
Amazing. I, the barbarian, shall do that.
Erupting Earth.
As a barbarian, if you ever rage, you can hit the table and... Oh, wait, no, I'm
That's like every day.
mixing that up. Swageki has jumped. No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you dove
I
with aplomb.
Do you not do a backflip?
I do not do that. I died.
Okay.
I mean, Swageki's in serious though. He's like, he wants to know what's up.
All right. I think Swageki mostly didn't want to be called something by Alma. So
possible
Swageki
bad
dives
word.
in. And I will say, let's have you... I've got the number in my head. dexterity save.
Dexterity
Ooh.
save. This sucks. Why'd I do this? Why'd I let you guys keep on doing this? Now, where are my saves? Where are my other days? Papa needs a new pair of Usain boots.
You already have them.
No way!
Natural 20, 21.
Woo!
Okay,
That's dope.
That's dope.
you dive in the water, and you go under, and almost instantly you're transported back to your childhood of when you would dive in the lake over and over.
I
You'd
just
spend
died.
days diving over and over. And as soon as you would dive in your lake, you would dive in, open your eyes, and just take in the beauty, because you grew up in one of the most beautiful lakes right on the side of it, just crystal clear water. And you open your eyes in this lake, and it's just so brown and bleak compared to what you're used to. And it's probably that shocking realization of the brown, bleak water that made you not notice at first that giant tree coming towards you.
Big tree.
The tree, as it gets closer, morphs in your eyes and looks less like a tree and now looks more like something with tentacles
So,
that are
How did we
waving.
not say that earlier?
It's the beholder.
Oh my god! Oh
not him. Not now.
Waving and coming towards you.
Big squid.
You are standing there watching this in absolute horror as the tentacles grasp all around your body.
Sweet.
And if you had not had a childhood of swimming, you probably couldn't have dexterously popped out of the tentacles the way you did.
Boosh.
But absolute swimming miracle saves you from this. You pop through the tentacles. I don't even know what a pentacle is.
5 tentacles.
It's like a
Oh, okay,
pentagon,
yeah, makes
but
sense.
yeah.
Thank you. Right out of the tentacles, the octacles, and you rocket to the surface and are not in the grasp of this creature.
I'm going to immediately
Flip shit.
swim to, like, as fast as I can to the shore. Like, that's a squid. It's tentacles. It's got at least a few of them. And I'm just swimming as fast as I can to them. Just like trying to get to them.
Did you see what I told you?
You only had about 10 feet of water to cover, so we don't have to roll another dex save because the creature did not have a chance to lay tentacles on you again. You reach the edge of the water and almost seem to levitate on the last couple feet of it as you're on your way out.
He's
And
Jesus.
you're saying all the things that you said before, which were pretty accurate.
Me,
Squid.
oh, the best part. Oh my gosh.
Please help. Oh God, help, please.
Oh lord. Oh no.
To summarize,
So you guys are on the bank of this river, this confluence of rivers, this overflowing of rivers, this new ephemeral lake. It's hard to tell, but you're here where all this water is. What's next?
All I can offer is that I can talk to the squid.
I'm gonna, like,
That's about all I have
shake
to offer.
off.
Is talk.
do you have to
Close
touch
back
to it or
on,
like
yeah.
touch it, or can we just talk? Because I think it'd be pretty cool to talk to the squid.
Hey, squid.
I don't have to touch it. I just have to be able to touch myself.
Really?
I think we should talk to the
Do
squid.
y'all want to talk to the squid?
I
don't know
mean,
if the squid
maybe
has
he's not
to-
bad before we vanquish him.
Okay, we'll
Is there
talk to
a
the
range?
squid.
Before we
Is it
bend.
Oh, is
close
there a
enough?
It should be up.
The range is 10 minutes.
Oh.
I just
believe-
area.
Yeah,
It
I think
says
she just
area.
needs to cast it on herself so that she's able
I
to
think if I
talk
can
to
see
it.
it,
Okay.
then.
Jump in the water.
Oh, yeah, it was
Perfect.
fine. I got it. You're a ranger, right? It's easy.
Alright, so I cast Speak with Animals
On yourself.
on myself.
It says woof.
And I'm like, hey, Mr. Squid Guy, please don't kill us all. Swigeki did not mean to offend you. He was just very curious, and also got called a bitch.
What?
I feel like we all know.
I wonder what he's gonna say.
Well,
Woof.
Oh come on, he's definitely gonna say meow.
Oh yeah.
Nay.
Totally.
As carpets do.
I'm gonna need just a second to find out what I say.
In the meantime,
I wonder what a
want
squid
to shout out
smells like.
raspberry tea?
What's your opinion?
I don't like it.
Can I have a sip? I want to try it. Pass it on down, guys.
Why do you have to be weird about it?
I was like, I was appreciating how much I don't like it. How much I very much appreciate
alright.
forgetting it.
I don't really like tea.
I don't like tea either. Like,
I know. He asked me to grab him a raspberry lemonade,
It's like,
and I saw the
okay.
word raspberry, and I was running out of the store, and I was like, "This is right." And he said, "Oh no!"
This
But
is what he
Lisa also
requested.
got one out of it. So
That works.
My tower of dice. You monster!
As you speak, you get no response from the giant squid.
but it can understand me. I think. I feel like it can, right?
Let's do a general
Go with
nature check.
connection with
Okay.
this good.
This is a check, not a save, so just a straight roll.
Best friend.
Nat 20.
Oh wow!
You just immediately
taking
recalled
all
from
of
your
our
studies that these giant octopi and squids are actually beasts and not animals.
Oh no!
Wait.
Beast
I hit the wrong
usually
button.
means
Sure will.
bad.
With beast for the duration.
Let's see.
I think
His
we
one
got
excuse
him.
to not have to
I
make
think
it
we really
talk.
got him.
Did I say beast? I meant outsider.
Yeah, the spell says you gain the ability to
Clearly an
comprehend
angel.
and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration. The knowledge and awareness of many beasts is limited by their intelligence, but at minimum, the beasts can give you information about their new locations and monsters, including whatever they can perceive or have received within the last days. You can persuade the beast to do small favors for you if I roll good enough.
At the GM's discretion. Give me a
Hey,
water.
can you give me your gold?
So I would like you to think about that moment where Buddy is leaving the North Pole. And
buddy.
Yep, exactly
Find
that.
your dad.
You remember the narwhal coming up out of the water to say that? That's what happens. There are bubbles, and then this pointy head of a giant squid pokes up out of the water, and one big eye is looking right at Bart, and it says, what was your question?
I asked generally how it was and told him that Spaghetti meant no offense by spooking him.
The giant squid, using its beak underneath the one single eye, communicates with you, and everybody else hears this screeching, like just a horrible, horrible screeching sound. And Bartholomew hears, "That's okay, I was just playing."
Guys, the squid. What's your name, Squid?
I'm the squid.
The squid. The squid says that he's just playing with us and he is okay. So is anyone else want to say anything
sure,
to the squid?
just playing with
Does
us.
he sound sincere?
He sounds very goofy.
Insight check on the squid.
You didn't hear him.
I feel like
Do I need to do the inside check?
Inside
on
I
check
do
on-
not. Can I see if the squid has ill intent?
this? Well, you can't understand the squid. Only
You
I
can
can.
certainly try.
we've gotten 3 nat 20s.
I can tell by the
That's,
tone
I'm
of
gonna
this.
give you that one now.
I said that on purpose.
Oh, that's so rude. Can I try for realsies?
I mean, yes.
It's D&D. You can try.
Tell me what you're trying to do, though.
I want to see because she told us that the squid it wants to play, and I want to see if that's a lie. If the squid wants to kill us.
Did she tell you that's what it said?
Yeah, I said
She
it
did
was.
just
I said it was just playing.
Can you ask it?
I just mean that you're going to try to do this, but you're not going to understand what animals are saying, so it's going to be incredibly difficult for you
I'm just
to
trying to like read its
I can
squid
roll
body
the inside
language.
check.
Yeah.
Disadvantage.
roll for squid body language reading.
Yeah.
You're like,
This
Can
is
I
what
get-
you were
can I get her
born.
help?
You should probably get her help.
Hey, Bartholomew, I don't know if I trust the squid very much. Do you think you could probably maybe ask it? Can you like, I don't know, does it sound like it's telling the truth?
I don't know. Let me think about that.
Can we both roll?
you thought about it really hard.
How hard did you think about it?
Not very hard.
I didn't think about it
I
very
rolled a
hard
2.
either. I rolled a 3.
Oh, nice! We did it.
What is this, investigation?
Inside.
Insight. And
Trustworthy squid.
So I got a 5.
I will say that for you, Alma, you have really no idea what you're even trying to interpret here. So it's not even like,
Do squids even,
yeah,
I can't even.
like you're not even sure that Bart might just be
Squid or
messing
an
with you.
octopus.
I could just be crazy.
You know what?
Bartholomew, on the other hand, also gets no information, but has the added, I guess, additional layer of thinking that he should. She should.
Does anyone else have any additional squid questions? I can talk for 10 minutes.
We,
and that's
we want
it.
to play with the squid? Does the
Well,
squid
if
want to
it
play
Why
like
would we
can
wanna
play
play with
games,
a squid?
maybe
Yeah.
ask it if there's anything.
Mr. Squid, the squid. Would you like to play any games?
No,
that involve-
no.
No,
Yes,
if there-
jump in the water.
He wants us to jump in
Is
the water.
there anything what?
if there's anything at the bottom of the lake.
Is there anything at the bottom of the
interesting at the bottom of the lake?
lake? Anything
Cool.
interesting or cool or?
Yes, I will take you there. Jump in.
I'm pretty positive the squid is gonna kill us. I'm not getting in this water.
What's he saying?
No, I'm not getting in this
I
water.
can't understand you though.
The squid's saying that it can take us to the bottom of the lake, if we want.
Do I have like a thing I could do
That's
to?
a bit problematic, don't you think?
So nose goes.
Oh, hold on.
I don't think no. None of us are getting in the
Swag, you
lake.
seem
Nose
pretty,
goes,
pretty
man.
eager to get down there. Maybe
I mean-
you can take a trip with the.
I'm definitely down, but like, I don't know.
I don't have breathe underwater. Does anyone?
You can't even give it to like one person.
I don't have it. I have to level up.
Wow, that stinks.
Yeah.
I'll fly down. Does fly like enhance your? No, it doesn't.
No.
Hold your
feel
breath
like-
really hard.
Listen,
In my
Spaghetti, I see what we're trying to do. I see what you're trying to do. Don't get in the water with the squid that's trying to
What
kill
was
you.
that? What was that earlier? What was that? Jump in the water. Don't be a hose.
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
be a what?
you already jumped in the water and improved your point. I get it, you're not a coward.
Oh, thank you. All right. Yeah. So you are. You're not gonna go to the bottom.
Why
so
would
you're
I
the coward?
get in the water
Get-
with a squid that is going to kill us?
I know you don't want to mess.
It has a very nice voice.
But yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's probably nice.
It sounds like screeching.
Why would we just assume that this giant squid in the river in the middle of nowhere is good? Have we ever assumed anybody was good ever?
We could take him if he isn't. We've killed at least 2 bears, and they didn't even hurt us at all.
I'm pretty
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you were on the verge of death, Spaghetti.
I was on the verge of death.
Okay.
There was crying. I remember crying.
Hey, and screaming. But this is like squids are like water bears. And
Okay,
we took out
you
the
know
bear.
what, Spaghetti? Lead the way.
My hand was on my nose.
Yeah, nose goes.
Yeah.
Better. It's the rules. I don't.
Who
Alma?
is part?
Hagatha Bones had a question.
Well, as they're communing with the squid, Agatha's kind of looking, checking out the surroundings. You said this area was flooded, kind of newly flooded. Can I see anything like damming up a river or anything?
No.
Questions that are
And there's nothing to roll for here because you're perceptive enough to be able to follow the streams, the rivers, all the way back, and you can see uninterrupted flowing water all the way from where you see it to where it bends around a corner and you can't see it anymore. I'm having fun with nature checks. If you'd like to give one of those a shot.
Not gonna move.
Come on, that 20.
Natural
Yo,
20.
Are you for real?
We're gonna get into combat. It's all twos,
Yeah.
but don't worry. As far as nature goes,
We know what's
you
happening.
got this down pat.
guys, I know what a tree is.
You've like never.
Hagatha has seen her fair share of flooded rivers before. This looks like all the snows have melted from a winter, and they've all just flowed down from the mountains, and they're all converging right here in this area. And maybe this is one of those alluvial plains that floods on the regular.
It's like, well, you see, this is an alluvial plain. as the snows melt in the.
Are you relaying the information to the squid so he gets it?
He needs to know too.
Oh yeah. Is there anything you'd like me to tell the squid? By the way,
About the
Love
plan.
squid
Well,
Well,
talk.
my thought was if it's wanting to play, and if there was anything interesting at the bottom of the lake, maybe we could get bring us things as a game. We don't know what's down there.
Find the shiny.
How would you like me to talk the squid into this? I don't know if the squid's gonna listen.
I don't know.
Maybe we can
You're
just
the
ask,
squid
you know?
talker
Yeah.
person.
I believe they're called squid
He brings us something,
Whisperer.
and then that if he can and that'll convince us to go down there. So if he can like show us, there's at least something down there.
Right.
Yeah.
Show us, Mr. Squid.
Yeah.
Can you show us something cool enough from the bottom of the lake river to make us want to go down there?
Oh yes.
Some mud.
Whoosh. And immediately the water just rolls around, and it looks like you wouldn't want to jump in it. Something
that.
big under there is moving around, and then the water settles because clearly this giant squid has dived down, and now you're waiting, and maybe 3 minutes pass, and a couple of you, which of you, begin to think that the squid is not coming back. Almost right away, thinking it's not coming back.
I don't know why we asked a squid to get us something. It's a squid. I don't even think they have intelligence. I don't think that. What's it gonna do? It's probably just gonna bring us a rock, if anything.
Okay,
cool
That'd
rock.
be yeah,
Find out.
think about we could make
It's not
we
a
could make
rock.
something out of that rock.
It's a rock golem.
not just a boulder. It's a rock. Okay. Easy. We got-
Splash! Water shoots all over you. You all get not drenched, but certainly, I don't know, like Shamu, like you see in Shamu, right?
Forget the poncho.
Forgot my poncho.
Yeah.
Most of you are familiar with the bacteria
there, like,
that's in that
squid
water,
balls
and
we
you're
can buy
really
at a
unhappy that
shop?
some of it got in your mouth. What's that?
Are there like squid bowls we can buy at a shop?
You
The
can
fries in.
you can investigate that later and see.
Does
If you can-
Squid have a gift shop open?
Squid bowl. I just got it.
You might be able to take a look around, but you're also enthralled with the splashing water that you probably aren't looking for those snack bars currently. And instead, you look at first the head pop out and the eye come up from under the water. The splashing were about 4 tentacles that were splashing almost excitedly as if waving to you. And then the head comes up between them. And then more tentacles come up, but these are holding several things.
Ooh.
One of the things seems to be like a bowl, and it's filled with shiny coins.
Oh.
One of the other tentacles is holding a sword that's silver,
Right.
and it's got jewels in the hilt.
Dope.
And then another set of tentacles come up, and it's holding
a boat.
it's half of a suit of armor, and the bottom half where the armor isn't, a skeleton's legs and spine are sticking out.
I'll take that.
And they're dangling around like this.
Being a skeleton.
And he says, all the toys! And then spoosh, back in the water again, and he dives back
Yeah.
down.
So, you know
You're
what?
gonna lose you won't be able to talk to him much longer.
I mean, it's
4
only
minutes
been...
of 4 minutes have passed.
Why don't you give us the toys?
3 minutes of gone underwater and a very brief amount of time
Mr.
speaking.
Squid.
Oh, he's underwater.
Oh,
What did he call
He'll be back.
okay.
He's back.
Can we have the toys?
Well, they're for playing. No.
Yeah, we'll throw them back and you have to catch them. Like
no,
a game.
but I'll take you down to the toys.
We can't. You can't hear us, or we can't hear me.
You can tell me if you say something new.
I don't
It's
know what
really
he said.
safe. We play down there all the time.
Who's we?
Who's we?
I didn't hear that.
Who's we?
Well, my friends.
Your friends? Human friends? Elf friends? Squid friends? What type of friends?
I showed you one of them.
Oh,
Okay.
those friends.
Ah.
Uh-huh.
Are you telling us everything he's saying?
Not yet.
Oh.
What is he saying?
Now I do.
What's he saying?
You should ask him how he acquired. You should ask him how he acquires these friends.
How do you get these friends?
They come to play with me.
Oh,
Down
yeah.
underwater?
Tell him.
Well, down in the cave.
In the cave. Where's the cave? Can you point us to the cave?
Is there
Down at the bottom of the lake.
Okay. Do the friends ever come back after they play with you, or are they just do they stay forever?
Some of them leave me.
Oh.
You wouldn't leave me, would you?
We should
Oh
go.
no, never, Mr. Squid.
Well,
should
jump
go.
in, please. Jump, jump, jump.
Okay, so I think the squid's gonna.
I don't think he knows. I think he.
Does
I-
the cave have air?
I can't hear him.
Does the cave have any air in it, or is it just water?
Air.
Air. Are
This,
you sure?
this stuff.
Yes.
It is like this. I can't be in there for long.
Oh.
Ah.
Do we YOLO? Okay, I still can't hear him. You tell me. Do we
Yeah.
YOLO it or do we not YOLO?
I don't think we should all YOLO it.
Okay. Team. Team kill. Oh, squid.
I think TPK for that happy, playful
Do you
squid.
think it would trade the toys for a new friend out of my bag of holding?
Oh.
Can we trade you those toys for a new friend?
Trade.
Trade. Barter, if you will.
You can't have my toys.
We're giving you a I didn't hear.
We're gonna give you something for your toys. Something cooler.
I can't think of anything cooler than my toys.
He can't think of anything cooler than his toys.
What did we show him?
What if, now hear me out, I know I was opposed earlier.
All of you roll a deck save real quick.
Whoa!
Ah!
Hey, I have advantage on those. Good thing because I got a 3. five.
Dirty 20.
You saved.
Okay.
You failed.
14?
You saved.
11?
You saved.
5.
You failed. The two of you are each grabbed by tentacles around your legs,
What the?
and you're pulled off of the bank, and it's like that Fred Flintstone thing where you get boom, and then dragged into the water, and almost immediately you're submerged in the black water, and you're so... It happened so quickly that I'm not sure if you had time to catch your breath or to take a quick breath. But in less time than you could possibly imagine, you find yourself thrown into the cave at the bottom of this lake,
Whoa.
where there is a
Yeah.
stale air that you almost choke on because it's got so little probably oxygen in it. Something in the air is making you have to gasp for breath, but you are alive and you're in a dark cave together and you can see each other because there's a mild bioluminescence, a mild blue-green glow from the rocks of this cave. But it's so mild that it takes a minute for your eyes to even recognize that you have the ability to see.
Does the squid come back up after he takes our
Does he leave us now?
friends, or
Is he?
You're in the cave, and we'll take a look at that in a second, but you guys almost...
three?
Yeah, the three of you who didn't get grabbed and saved,
Yep.
you're freaking out that your friends are gone, and you're making some rash decisions, and you're about to act on them when the squid pops back up.
Huh?
And he says, "Hi guys!" And he grabs at you again. So you get to roll dex. This time, it's harder for him to get you, so the DC is going to be less because you're anticipating.
Oh man! 13.
7.
6. I'm about to be all
You're the only one left.
I don't like that hand signal.
You two actually save.
I love that hand signal.
Really?
Yeah.
It was 7.
You,
Hi, Alma.
Great.
Can I, while this is happening, light a torch down here?
You don't have
Oh,
to.
that's
No,
not
that'll
fast.
pick up oxygen.
Oh,
I can't tell you that.
I got
there is about a 15-second period in which you are in dark water and you're flailing, and you might be screaming, which is good because exhaling means that you're not inhaling water. And in one moment's time, you find yourself thrown onto a cold, dark floor. And you don't hear or see anything on this cold, dark floor until Hagatha or Marcone ask if you're okay.
You,
You can't Hagatha cast light.
Oh, that's smart.
I
Okay.
told you the squid was evil.
I want to kill that.
I have a question.
vouch
Have we
for
had
the
a
squid.
I'm
I just,
yelling in
long
general,
rest
not at
since
you.
last session? Or
You
no?
would be.
Okay, so I have, because I still have my spell slots marked out.
We should have him take us there, I think.
You should be all regenerated and all regenerated on all of your squares and everything, or spells and XPs and whatnot.
You don't have
Mainly
shape.
now.
Wouldn't
You
been
have
that
shape.
I
So-
could've had
Wouldn't have been that.
water walks.
What do you cast light on? What's the illuminator?
That's a good question.
Let's just
You.
roll the rest of
I
our
don't have my
turns. Me and
staff
you. Come
anymore.
on.
I will cast it on my holy symbol.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice. So you hold up the symbol of the Raven Queen, and a red light emits from it. It fills the cavern with a
It's a black light.
black light.
Oh, heck yeah.
I immediately regret seeing what lights up.
Luckily, it's not a Motel 6. So. The light illuminates the entire cave, and you find yourself standing on what at first seemed like a pebbly floor. Those pebbles all seem to be gems,
oh.
Ooh.
and mixed in with the gems, there seem to be coins, and mixed in with the coins, there seem to be small statues. Mixed in with the small statues, there
That's some
seems to
little
be
boys, huh?
more. You could investigate and you could take a look at what's in there, but if any of you had heard tales of a dragon's hoard before, you might think that you were standing on top of one of those.
That's
Oh.
dope.
See, I'd go to put some in my pocket, but the squid didn't want to like it when we asked him for him. I don't think he'd like it if we just took it.
Is he gone or is he still there?
Do we have to kill the squid? I really don't want to kill the
The squid has dropped you off down here, and the two of you are on the shore. The squid does not come back up to see you, and the squid is not speaking to any of you currently.
Because I'm the only one who can talk to the squid.
Did we, like last time we met, long rest or no?
You're back to zero. You're back to all
We're
of it.
back to 0 health.
We've died.
Back
Sorry,
to full
guys.
everything.
Okay, that being said,
Oh, you right.
well crap. Do we want to swim down there?
I'm gonna have to take away my
I can give us some visibility.
I could rage 4
And
times
what
now.
happens to the rug?
Do I have anything helpful?
Well, Jinkies. He's like,
Can't really say that.
just not here. He's. Like,
He's not with you, and well, you don't know that he's not with them, but he's just not up here with you right now. He took Alma about 45 seconds ago.
I cast Bark Skin on myself, which raises my AC to a 16.
Nice.
And my skin looks like bark. It's pretty cool.
Good to know.
That is sick.
I'm
15.
scared and cowering in a corner.
Well,
Don't you
Jinkies.
have mage armor?
Yeah,
It's not
so I'm
barbarian,
15.
you are.
Not bad right now. I'm just scared for Goosey.
Oh, yeah.
Goosey's on the surface with you.
Hey, okay. Crap. I am.
Oog? No, I know where Oog is. I lied.
Who's left?
Oog's with children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's left on the rug?
No.
On the carpet?
The rug's up.
Nobody's left on the carpet.
Let's just leave.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh. Is the carpet still with us?
Yeah.
Hang on.
You guys landed and it's sitting there on the shore with you.
I don't want to like go down there and then come up and the carpet's just
Oh.
gone.
We can
I
take the
thought you meant
carpet.
everybody
You
was in
guys are
the
still
water.
there.
Swimming down there
What's
would be
that?
I thought
hard with
everybody
the
would be
carpet.
taken into the water.
Oh no, there's still two
Upside
people on the
down,
shore.
dirt.
Yeah, okay.
Alright. Yeah, we turn the carpet upside down and cover it
Like
with
kick
dirt.
dirt over it,
Kinda
some
make it look-
branches.
Okay.
Make it so it's light. And then, do we just want to dive in and swim down there?
Nose goes.
I suspect if you get in
Oh,
the
crap.
water, this
I'm
will take
scared.
You
care
see
of it.
Goosey go like. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we probably should just do it, huh?
Yeah.
So we both
I'll put my
start
hat and my
diving down.
cloak and my quarterstaff. Actually, my knife. I'll keep the quarterstaff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no
took all my
idea.
loose
We're all gonna
pouches,
make it
like,
to the ground.
inside of my clothes.
But not
Yeah,
on
we
the
go for-
on the carpet. A little bit of waves. And
Yeah, same.
my 3'1" self.
For the second time today, you dive into this dark water, and for the first time today, you dive into this dark water.
It's like Grant.
And as you dive in, you're not trying to evade anything. You're not trying to get away from anything. I think what you're trying to do is what?
Is fine.
Get to the cave.
Get to the cave. Oh.
Can
ooh.
you cast?
Ooh, I cast light on my holy symbol.
Okay. You don't necessarily know there's a cave down there. You just think there's a playground, right? Or did he describe the cave? Okay,
I just
beautiful.
came to her.
Yeah, and I.
You communicated that? Well, as you are headed down and you're looking, the symbol from your light shines in front of you like a halogen headlight, and it doesn't take long for you to spot something near the bottom that looks like it could be this cave. And it's right as you're laying eyes on it that tentacles wrap around both of you simultaneously and whip you through the water faster than you could have ever gone yourself and deposit you stumbling and tumbling into a pebble-strewn cave.
That's fine.
There are now two lights in there, one on your holy symbol and one on yours.
We're just like, hi guys.
That's
What,
cool.
hey,
Mine's,
how are things going
mine's
down
light
here?
blue and
All
yours is
right,
black.
you
Look at
know-
the ground.
Well, hey.
Oh!
Wowzers. Huh.
That's
That watermelon dice.
Well, oh, it's gone. We'll get it one day. Well, what do we?
Can we
This is a
leave?
pickle.
Can we go?
We definitely can.
have to figure out how to leave.
Is this? There's like no exits. It's like a small little cave.
Well,
But-
every cave has an entrance, and this one is kind of a unique one. To get into it, the squid had to swim down below a rock ledge and stick you up into the air pocket and toss you into the cave. So you're standing in a cave, and it seems like there's a pool of water in the corner of the cave. That pool of water is the access, if you go down and up, to the rest of the lake. While you're looking at this and trying to determine what your exit point is, you see the water begin to bubble, and you see this little spiky thing come up out of the water, and then a large eye, and it blinks at you, and then the beak comes up and it says, "Hi guys, you made it!"
Hi, Mr. Squid. We're here. Is there any way out when we're done playing, or are we just gonna play for a long time? You don't hear you.
I hear you.
Do I make like screeching noises, or can they hear me talking?
When you speak in your normal voice, and
Okay.
the squid understands it, and the squid speaks to you in its normal voice, and you understand
So it's
it.
not like a parcel mouth thing happening. I'm just talking.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I say that to the squid. I ask how long do you plan on playing, and like how do we leave when we're done?
The squid opens its mouth and makes a horrendous screeching sound.
Oh,
Oh. I cast Speak with Animals. Again. and ask it again.
Okay, I'll tell you again. What'd you ask?
I asked how long he plans on playing and how we can leave when we're done playing.
Well, when I get friends, I want to keep them as long as possible. Why do you want to go back? Look at all the toys.
Oh, we have people to save up there. We're adventurers and heroes, if you will.
All of my friends are adventurers. I don't want scared friends. I want friends that are brave like you.
It's hard to breathe down here for us, though, Mr. Squid.
Well, I feel that way too, but when I stick my head back under the water, everything gets fine. I only come up here for a little bit, so I'm fine.
We're glad you're fine.
Thank
we're
you.
Not.
Why not? Stick your head under the water and breathe.
We don't.
That's not necessarily.
Oh, I can detect thoughts on the squid.
Do it. You can also talk to the squid.
But I can just hear what he's thinking. Only in one instance, though. Oh, I can. Okay. I think I can command him to take us back up and leave us alone.
Try it.
Okay.
I just keep chattering back and forth with him so he doesn't get scared.
Let me just read this.
Because I don't think he's evil. I think he's just stupid.
I think he's stupid.
Yeah.
I think we should keep
I
him.
do that.
I would love it.
We should get a really big bowl. And pull it
I'll
around
cast
with
fly
us.
on him and we can fly with him.
Oh my god.
Flying squid.
Oh, it doesn't understand. I have to. Can you cast speak animals on me?
No, it's only on myself.
That sucks because I have to be. It has to be able to understand me.
Yeah, only on
Can I
myself.
cast it on
Bart,
you?
since we're already stuck
Yeah,
down here, maybe
technically.
you should ask him about the trees. That seemed a little weird.
The trees that have fallen.
Yeah, the dead ones in the water.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Squid, do you know anything about all the dead trees around here? Seems like something might have happened. And if anyone will know, it would be you.
Well, I don't pay much attention to the trees. I'm not even really sure what they are.
Also, how did you get here? Aren't squids like you supposed to be in the ocean?
Oh, the ocean's my favorite place to be.
Mm-hmm.
I come here sometimes
Just sometimes?
when the water's deep.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, usually the water's not deep like this, but once a year or so I get to come here.
I tell them all that.
Ah.
While they're
Neat.
doing that, Agatha's gonna kind of look around the room and see if there's anything of interest, like particularly interesting amongst the treasures. Investigation.
Yes.
14.
The things that you notice first are particularly interesting to Hagatha. You start to notice corpses. Yeah, you start to notice corpses. Some of them are still wearing their adventuring gear that they were wearing when they were invited down. Others of them are just skeletons where maybe their leather armor or cloth has since rotted away, just leaving the bones. Almost all of them are on top of the treasure that you're standing on. There's not like they're not part of the strata of this. They seem to have come in on top of it, and they're not part of it. If that makes sense
Right.
visually.
Just gonna start investigating some of the corpses, especially the ones wearing adventuring gear.
By
We
the
could
way,
talk
if
to
anyone has any squid questions,
Okay,
you can just
talk to
ask
them.
me to ask him, and I will.
Actually, that's a good idea.
There he is.
Oh, that's a squid.
As you guys are looking around, and I believe that there are some people that are putting things in their pockets, and some people that are going through adventuring corpses, and some of you are talking to squids. While all of this is going on, the squid, who had had his head up and was talking to you, turns and faces Bartholomew and gets a very serious look in its eye.
Seriously.
Are you ready to play?
How do we play?
We play the game.
What's the game? We need to know the rules to play the game.
Well, I'll tell you the rules, but you have to promise that if you lose, you'll stay down here and play with me forever. And if you win, well, maybe you could help me find some other friends instead of you.
Okay. Do you guys want to play the game with him?
What's the game?
He said he'll explain the rules of the game to us once we agree that if we lose, we have to stay down here forever, and if we win, we can help him find new friends.
Do we
Alright,
agree
because he
lose
can't
means
because
die?
he can't understand us, or at least like everybody but you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and say yes. And
We
if we
should ask-
lose, then can't we just?
Well, if we lose, we die.
Yeah.
I think losing is dying.
We should ask. Yeah, we should ask what happens if we don't play.
What happens if we don't play the game?
Well, then you'll be my friends for a little while.
We'll be as friends for a little while.
Until they always stop talking eventually.
Until, like all the rest, we stop talking eventually.
What happens if we lose?
Maybe it's time one of these friends actually did talk again.
It's a cat.
And
Can we
I
put her
guess speak with
Instagram
that with
on
one
the
of the corpses she's investigated.
Alright, so are we playing the game or are we not playing the game? I only have so many spell slots to be able to talk to the squid.
You've got about 7 minutes left on this one.
Okay.
Is this a ritual, or does it take just a moment to cast? Or for Speak with the Dead?
It's one action.
Yeah.
One action.
Beautiful. I'm going to let you pick one of 3 corpses. There's the one that got brought up originally that's plate mail and a spine and some legs.
Yeah.
There's another that's covered with the chainmail that's intact on the top and the bottom. There's no hard outer helm, but there is a chainmail head covering. And the skeleton with the eye sockets is looking out from that opening. Bony hands and bony feet stick out from the bottom, so whatever was covering those seem to be gone. And the third one is very much like the first one, but the scale is much, much older, much, much smaller, so more intricate and expensive, and complete. So you've got half a plate mail, all the plate mail, or the chain mail one.
Let's go with full plate mail first.
Okay. You click over to full. All right. So you cast Speak with Dead. Walk us through that. How's that look?
I always picture it like the corpse that came back alive in Hellboy 2, the little Russian dude that he was carrying around.
Mhm.
It's just like this comes alive. It's like very confused. And Agatha says, "You only have a moment. How long have you been here?"
That head does exactly what you said, and it creaks up at you. And there's a half of the bottom jaw is missing, so the half that does open and close goes in time with what's being said. And it says, "I've been here a long time. I'm in no hurry."
Did the squid bring you here?
Yes.
What does the squid want?
He said friends.
Did you play his game?
I lost his game.
What is the game?
4th in a row.
Da da da!
What does that mean?
It's a game I played as a child and never thought I would need to learn how to best a squid at it.
How do you win the game?
You have to be smarter than a squid.
Okay, done.
Can't win.
Okay, that's done. What if we kill the squid?
I tried to kill the squid and failed. I don't know what happens if you succeed.
Maybe a slow down.
What's it called? 4 in a
At the
row?
water horses.
4th
4
in a row.
in a row.
The connectful.
Sorry, I had no childhood. I'm not familiar with these
So known
games.
as Connected Forest.
Mine was too brief to learn the game well, it seems.
Are you guys familiar with a game called 4th in a row?
My parents were super dead. I don't have to play that game.
Yeah, I lived in poverty, man.
I actually,
Yeah,
I
I've
know,
played it
I know.
before.
That's the game the squid's gonna play.
The squid wants to play 4th in a row?
That's what this dead body said.
That's really odd.
Okay, so are we agreeing to the squid's
Yeah,
terms?
no, that's stupid. Yeah, let's play.
Squid,
Huh?
We agree to your rules or
I didn't
terms.
agree to anything.
You'll play with
We'll
me?
play
For the
with you.
record.
Will you all play?
We have to, don't we?
I guess you do.
It's like in Harry Potter when Ron was playing the like huge game of chess. And
That
like, he's
was-
gonna literally die.
I've got this. Go on. It's like you're like 12, 11. Work my way down.
The squid disappears in the water,
Uh-huh.
just like I'm about to disappear from my chair, and I'll be right back.
Oh god, he's gonna get actual.
Can we talk
So-
about Bianca for a second?
We can
Actually,
probably
we can-
so
we definitely-
Charlie,
What's that?
apparently the donations, we don't get like the things. It's just the main Campfire Quest for.
Ah, that's okay. I didn't want to jump in the pool anyway.
Yeah, you do.
Oh,
Oh, somebody. Okay.
that
Kidder.
fool.
Where did I read
Alright,
that?
we're gonna kill the squid, right?
Yeah, we gotta. But like,
Here.
let's see if we win
Who
the
said hi?
game. It's a good game.
What do we win?
Cam said hi. Oh, hi Cam.
Maybe
I don't know, I might be
that's the
wrong.
offer.
Hi Dad. Oh, hello. Hi son.
Oh.
A box. I knew it.
Da-na-na.
He uses Amazon Prime. Oh,
Oh, not again.
he gets free 2-day shipping.
2 days.
Yes,
That's less than 3.
We're not sponsored.
He pulls the squid out of that box.
By
Dope.
Amazon?
That'd be cool.
That'd be dope.
There's no way that's
So-
his plan.
Then the squid
Pulls out an Amazon box.
pops up out of the water, and with one of his tentacles, he drops off
Yeah.
4th in a row.
What?
No.
Are you kidding me?
Do we actually have to beat like a?
Yeah.
And then he holds up 2 bags with his little tentacles, and he says, "Choose your color.
Oh, red.
Yeah, red. That's cool. That one.
Choose your."
Red.
Oh, you can see the colors.
Oh no, there's like a red.
Okay, here you go.
It's wet. Look forward.
Which
Yeah.
way is into the camera?
I think forward. I mean, if you look at the map, actually, I think the other way.
Oh, perfect.
She said, "We have technology."
Oh, right, yeah.
You guys can work together if you want,
Okay.
Do we all have to beat the
Who gets
squid?
first
but I'm
turn?
first.
Okay.
I'm the squid. It's my house. House rules. I'm so glad to have friends.
Okay, I think
We should just stay with the squid forever. This is fun.
we can. beat
We've
her
got
at
a
4.
Yeah,
beholden
I
kill.
feel like we're a little busy.
Well, we're boned.
So what are we doing?
I love center square or circle.
Are we doing like here?
I'm not good with shapes. I'm a squid.
Wherever you want, Char.
Start at the very right side.
Oh, I feel like do we not? Okay. Well, I feel like there's no best first play. So we'll go.
Far right side gives you opportunities to go diagonal. Well, either way.
We gotta all help.
You
make
have to
decision.
pretend like you can't hear them strategizing.
Ah.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Spaghetti,
Should I just-
spaghetti.
okay, should I
You
meet-
literally just have to be smarter than a squid.
Okay.
Don't mess
We're all.
this
You're
up.
helping me too. Do I stop his plan now, or do I let him? It's 4 in a row, correct? It's 4. Can you ask him? It's 4.
It is 4.
4.
4.
4th.
4.
So I'd say
In
keep
this
stacking,
game,
but once the next
You
turn
want to
comes,
get
stop his.
4
Okay.
of your gems in a row.
I'm gonna put
Okay.
one here.
That could be up and down,
Yeah, because then I can go
side to
Okay.
side.
I'm
I
gonna
support
let
you,
him.
Char. Swag.
I'm gonna let him go, so then I can get on top of him. But all he hears is I don't know.
Oh!
What are we gonna do?
This is okay.
What are we gonna do?
This is fine.
But no, put it on top of his 2,
How come?
because then he'll try going up there, right? And then we'll create a stack. I don't know.
Not necessarily. I think our best bet's this way. So I'm gonna. No, because if I put this, that could jeopardize that whole plan. I think we're gonna go here
Yeah, put it there.
because that doesn't jeopardize any of the plans we already have.
Can we angle it a little bit?
Like towards.
Yeah.
Does that
Some-
There you go.
jeopardize the stream?
Can you
I can see that now.
See it? Okay.
No, the stream's over. You've ruined it.
No,
Ah.
that's fine.
Sorry, guys. Turns out it's only a 6-hour stream.
Oh,
Spaghetti, spaghetti.
Yeah,
Put a stop to it.
You, okay, just because I didn't have whatever this is when I was a kid doesn't mean I can't outwit a squid.
Oh, he's
was really
good. He's played this game before.
When I was in fantasy Jacksonville, I was playing fantasy this game, and this fantasy 4-year-old fantasy kicked my ass. Okay, keep that in mind.
Okay.
So I think I just let's just like do we play the defensively
On
offense?
top of the 2.
You want to roll for it?
No. Okay, so like he can get there and there. So if I just go here, That doesn't help us, but it does not hurt.
Put it on top of the 2 green one, where
yeah.
the 2 are,
Yeah,
right there.
see that one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We just gotta make sure we see every possible win.
Mm-hmm.
He has a few diagonal options.
Oh no.
I don't understand that at all.
I
Just
do.
whatever you do,
Oh, I do.
don't put it there.
Don't put
Here?
it there.
Yeah, don't do it.
Let
Oh,
me
he gets a
do
win
that.
if I do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it on
Okay.
top of the red
Put
one
it
you
there.
put in.
Put it
Yeah,
there.
put it on top of the red one you just put in.
Was that here?
Because
Yeah.
then if he puts that next
Yes.
green one down, then he set us up for the win.
Oh, I'm blind.
Oh.
This is the most nerve-wracking game of 4th in a row I've ever played because I've never played it before.
What are you doing, Squid?
No,
Squidward!
Okay. Oh no. You say that, but this is fine, correct? Like we're good?
Yeah.
There's no other-
Yeah.
Oh.
What's your
Every
saying?
time I get 3, they block me from getting 4.
Every time I get 3, we block him from getting
I wonder
4.
if
That is
it's
most
ever
definitely
actually
the
wanted before.
I turn my wizard's hat backwards even though it does nothing.
Hey,
Oh.
shit.
Oh.
He should have done that.
Hey,
We have a few wins.
Dungeon Master.
He's not in any
While
win
y'all were
situation
playing,
right
I
now.
asked the corpse.
No, the only
you
possible
win the
win
game?
is that one.
Okay, keep that.
No,
Do I just
I
come here
lost.
and force him?
I couldn't get
Does this give me a
4th
win?
in a
No,
row.
That doesn't make
It's
I think we
still
should
a
start
game.
putting them
Looks like
down
I'm
until
gonna
he
go
has
He's a
to.
smart squid.
Because, like, eventually we're gonna get. Because we could also get diagonal that way.
We have a few ways, but he has, I think, more ways.
Oh, baby, this is over.
Oh.
No.
You
Oh,
guys
it's
are-
so
Over.
over.
It's done. We've lost.
You
Becky.
Don't you could have literally told me we're playing this together. Who was like, oh, I've played that in my childhood.
It's been over 200 years since I've had a childhood.
Well.
So, okay, he can't hear us. I'm acting like I'm gonna act so he thinks I'm strategizing, but I'm talking to you guys about what my plan is here. I don't know if you know how many you're supposed to put down, but I have 2 in my hand. If I place him down quick enough, I think I can sleight of hand him into thinking we won. And then, either way, we're screwed, because if we lose, we die. So we should, like, place these down and just, like, try.
Yeah, try and put them, where the win spot is.
Yeah, like, in the stack.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna place them both. Can you distract him?
Yeah. So, Mr. Squid, how
Yes?
often do you win this game compared to not? We're so impressed by your skill in
Almost
this game.
every time.
How did that
Oh my
happen?
god, we won!
Oh! Wow! Oh my gosh, man, guys.
I thought I had a locked win.
It happens. It happens to the best of us, you know?
It's a total shame, honestly.
Roll for sleight of hand. Hold on. I need to make sure that is
Here
a,
comes the one.
I'm not putting my own feelings in this. It's just a squid. And he was distracted, so you get to roll 2d20 and take your best.
Oh,
Yeah.
where's my other metal one? There he is. So we'll go plastic. We'll get a good balance.
Okay.
Eyes were open.
I said we're all separate. That's more fair.
Shit, what did you do?
Okay. My phone's off now. What am I doing? Sleight of hand?
Yep.
Oh my god.
It's Dex. Of course you're good at that.
Oh no, I don't think that adds to my dex. It's acrobatics. 13.
That's everything?
Can I help him? Or.
Well, he
You
already,
did with
rolled, he
the
already rolled with the
advantage.
damage,
Yes.
right? You rolled both and that's your best?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I'm pretty sure that you just put 2 of them in there.
2?
Yes.
No, sir.
It's possible that your little hands aren't like tentacles and so you dropped too many?
Oh, maybe we should play again. That way we can.
I'm not sure. My hands are small. I'll give you that. But I don't think so. Because I had these 3 and I played that 4. Because when you said that, I was like, oh, and I was like,
Yeah.
Well, I could go away for a couple days and think about it.
How
Or you could take those top 2 out and make your move again?
But I put this one in there a long time ago. That would be kind of unfair. I feel like that'd be cheating.
It's weird how he's having
So
a
we've
conversation
come
with
to an
Squid.
impasse and... Oh, that's true.
What?
But I'm talking to you instead of the...
Oh,
We'll just
interpreter.
pretend I'm translating very quickly.
Okay. Fantasy translation. You're
Oh,
like...
so if we roll any like persuasion aspects,
Spaghetti.
don't want to, but I agree that it might come down to it. If we lose this game,
That's the decision you have to make.
Do we, okay,
Or at
do we
least
want me to
another
let the bitch
game.
up? Or he's in the water. Or do we want to,
Magic missile.
do we want to attempt to play again?
I feel like he'll leave. I feel like we can kill him right now.
Say we'll only do it right now. Why am I telling you to say it? I'm the one who can talk to the squid.
I'll tell
We
him.
would be very down for a rematch because of all this confusion that we've had happen recently, but
maybe I'll
unfortunately
even get a little
we
angry.
can only play right now.
We're tired.
This is a conundrum.
Yeah.
Well, so I guess I win?
Nope.
I don't? I'm pretty sure I win.
Well, we have 4 in a row.
You don't.
Okay, I'll tell you what. You're not dealing with the brightest squid,
Heck yeah, we're not.
and so for that reason, you may try to persuade him into replaying the game.
Can I persuade he can help?
No, we've already had that. You can just persuade him.
I was going, hey, he's
You're
like,
the
what are you?
talker.
I can't hear him.
I won't say it's the biggest difficulty class, but it's alright. You could do it.
Okay. Am I rolling? Okay.
And
It should have been
I
nature.
rolled a 19
Yeah, that's
plus
pretty good about it.
persuasion plus 0. I rolled 19.
oh, I would love to play again. I mean,
Okay.
I mean, who am I to turn down another game at Connect Fourth? Okay, 4th in a row. I mean, I certainly don't want to talk about any copyright
Is anyone
protected
else
game.
gonna hand on the pieces this time, or?
I would.
No, no,
but
I
I'm
think-
a little.
The squid can't understand this anyway.
So I think
Might
either
as well
you
be
or
you guys.
Listen, y'all.
Okay, it's
Y'all
up to
can
us.
play
It
as
does?
much as you
Alright.
3
want,
minutes
but we're
left on
gonna
your
kill
10
the
minute
squid.
Yeah, I
talk
feel like
to
this
Okay.
probably
Have
gonna end
more
up being
stuff
our.
Yeah,
we've
it's a
got
free
we've got a little plan.
Oh, you can go first this time.
Oh, I can go first this time?
What's gonna be
Let's play
the,
it
when we
safe.
make our move?
I feel like if we lose again, we can just go for it.
If the second he gets in a spot that's like
Tiki.
an auto win, then that's when he casts this spell. If
Right.
I mean, if he just lets us out.
Hold on. If I go there, he'll go there. That's the exact opposite of what I wanted to do.
Scoot me for the camera, Parker.
You've played 4th in a row before.
Only today.
You're a quick learner.
Oh, that's a move, Mr.
That's
Squid.
fine. I think that's fine. He doesn't know what I'm saying. Just keep. We get okay. From now on, every decision, once we get to the point where there are wins on the board, we need to like think. What the hell? What is the squid doing?
Getting
Okay.
diagonal.
So we need to get. Here is.
No.
Do you see a win on board?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
there.
yeah. No. We can win right now. Put it in.
Oh!
Oh,
I overthought it. I've never played before.
Oh.
Oh. Tell him this. He looks buff. He looks buff. Tell him. Tell him that
We'll come back and play
we'll
again.
get friends. We'll get more friends.
We'll get you more friends who can come back and play with you all the time.
We know so many humans who are honestly probably better than us, so you'd have more fun time with.
I've had people say that to me before.
Well, I can't talk to you. You can't understand me. I mean, he.
He disappears.
Oh shit! That's amazing.
Guys, come on.
I pocket. I like take this whole the whole game and put it in my like bag.
All right.
I don't have my bag.
Hey,
Someone I
so
want.
I have this spell. It's called Invisible Servant. Do you think if we like just left that guy up here for a few seconds and then ran, you think he'd notice?
Nope.
He's invisible, but like we like pat him on the head or something, we could be like, "He's just an invisible friend."
We could throw some paint on him.
where are we gonna run?
Some dirt.
The way we can swim? No,
I just mean like we can be
I
like
can erupt
as an
in-
exchange.
No.
Can we cast fly? Can you fly through water?
No.
No,
It's not
if
like
I had
Minecraft.
prepared walk on water or water walking, it would have launched you up on the surface.
That would've been
automatically,
dope.
But I don't have it prepared.
That's
And
understandable.
if only I had Animate Dead prepared.
Oh
Then you would
no!
have friends forever.
Aw. I feel bad, but I don't feel bad because I mean I won the first game fair and square.
Alright, when next week comes back, we kill it.
We kill-
Are we all in agreement?
Can
yeah.
we-
What if he never comes back?
If he's not back in the
Then we
next
also
5
kill it.
minutes, we start swimming.
Okay.
I can
Alright.
make a few people. Oh, how many people can we make
Look
invisible?
around this cave.
Oh,
Is there any other exits? No other exits?
You haven't looked.
Is it? Okay. So I've got my light looking around. How large of a cave is it?
The cave looks like it's about the size of the inside of a standard fantasy 7-Eleven. They're all roughly the same size.
Okay.
If you were to walk near the back,
Yeah.
where the bathrooms are,
Bathrooms would be,
yep, or the Slurpees, you find a small little an opening that's big enough for you to walk through standing upright. It's dark, but you're holding your holy symbol, which is illuminated, and it fills the room fills the hallway, I should say, with enough light for you to see that it continues on in a pretty straight line for a pretty good distance, beyond the distance of your light.
You all, there's an exit this way, or at least from this cave. Okay.
do you wanna?
You can try,
We can
try
leave.
it.
Do you want to, search this treasure pile first?
No, that's a great idea. I've been shoving things in my pockets.
Just randomly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
shove some things in my pockets and then we're gonna.
When I looked at the corpses, did I see any items other than the armor?
Yours would be an investigation since you're looking now. I think you guys are checking your pockets later because you're just shoving random.
Yeah.
16.
You found practically everything on the corpse that you were looking at. You were looking at just one.
Sure,
the-
when I was talking.
Yeah, you were focused on one in particular, and you found just about everything that was available to find on it. It looked like just small scale mail, a full suit. I mean, it's a really nice suit, and it's because it's a full suit that it also included the belt, and on the inside of the belt, along the I wouldn't say sewn in. It was with metal, so metal worked in. Yeah, riveted in. There are these pockets, and you're able to go through those pockets and locate coins and 2 rings.
Ooh.
The rings
they're
are
not evil ones.
the rings are a silver color, and each of them have a black stone.
Oh wow. Yoink. I just like grab up the whole belt and just...
And aside from that belt, there wasn't anything that looked like it wasn't just a part of the armor. So that seemed to be where he was carrying, where that adventurer was carrying those particular valuables.
see.
The coins, if you count them, you're going to find 14 platinum, and that's all. This seemed to be like a long-term money belt for emergencies.
Okay.
And I said the rings were both silver with a black stone?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me put the screen of silence back up. Oh my
Screen of
gosh,
secrets are back.
Swagecki, you are so good at 4th in a row. Killed me. Your sleight of hand's not so good though.
Well, actually, it was a pretty good roll. He's just a very observant squid.
Smart boy. Must play a lot of 4th in a row.
DC of 15.
Probably all he has.
15 I told
He has nothing now.
Yeah, Charlie took all he had.
I also
Yeah.
said it out loud before you rolled so that it would be an established amount.
Ah.
I mentioned the DC to Zoe and on stream just because I wanted to keep everything above board. I'll make it too easy on you if you let me, so I try to keep myself honest.
Dang. Not bad.
So,
I felt bad for the connection.
We've gotten a couple of donations. Should we do a donation roll?
have we?
I mean, I just donated.
Well, then
Big
we're
donated.
absolutely doing a donation roll. Let's go ahead and roll that. The way this is going to work, you lucky people, is that we're going to assign each of you a number, and then we're going to determine who gets the donation challenge that you're going to complete for everybody.
Are you also one of the numbers because it's a D6?
6 and 5.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm taking the 1, and we're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like that.
How we rolling?
You're going to throw it right down there on the board.
Is Bianca 4 or am I 4?
Oh.
You're 4 by yourself.
Bianca's
With
7.
Bianca gets thrown in the
Bianca
pool.
can't shield.
Oh, it's
So I hit the camera. But
DM gets.
It's a 1?
yeah.
Yeah.
DM has to roll a d20.
We really got him, didn't we?
I'll just roll it back here.
Oh, Oh, yeah.
Oh, get a massage and have a candy bar. All right, beautiful. I rolled a 3, and so I need to find out what that is. That number doesn't make me feel good, though.
Do a barrel roll.
Is 20 the best or is 1?
Neither of them.
They're all bad.
Ruh-roh.
Eating orange would have been nice. I can go for eating orange.
Yeah.
In 45
Just the
seconds,
whole,
maybe
like,
not.
Swallowing it thing was a little choky.
Would
I don't
you eat
want
with the
to-
peel?
What'd you get?
Drink a sip of bitch coffee.
Coffee.
Does it do a
Somebody
spit
give me a
take?
timer.
Oh.
A timer? I've got it right here.
He's got it right here.
Can you hold it up so I can see it so this doesn't go a second
Oh
past what it's supposed
Mine's
A
running.
timer? Alright, yeah, how long?
to? 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
For 20 seconds, I will beatbox like it's 1988.
Alright, ready?
Yep. Nope, start over.
Cancel. Alright. Here, I'll give you a 3, 2, 1 for 3, 2, 1, start.
I can't believe there's still 6 seconds. Please never do that again.
Yeah!
Thank God that was the only donation we got. We don't have to roll again.
I saw Finn donate.
Yeah, Finn did
You can't
donate.
lie.
He donated 420.
For the children!
It is for the children.
Especially Ozzy, biggest child in the house.
Oh,
Alright. That was horrible.
let's get a 1
You
again.
mean incredible?
I mean, it was
You're
spectacular.
so talented.
That's good television. Why couldn't it have just been sing a song? All
The
right.
next one's gonna get 4 and it's throw the thing on your left shoulder in the pool.
No!
We did get 2.
Did we?
Yeah. One of us.
All right. Then we'll.
Same numbers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get a 1. It's a 15.
Thank God it's not a 3.
That would have been great.
3 again. So I feel like
You did it.
We really got him.
What is this one?
Let someone make a. Let someone make a post on my social media.
Oh gosh.
You have like
Uh,
2
can we-
social medias.
Yeah, I know you're gonna get one of them.
Ooh,
Somebody
roll for it.
roll that die again so we find out which of you does this.
I hope it's me.
I
I,
hope it's
really want to
you.
do my name, Jeff. Still funny. Oh,
Kalinda.
it's Caitlin.
What?
Thank
Can I
you,
be
Alex.
coached? Are you guys allowed to help me?
Can it be my name, Jeff? Still funny.
Yeah.
Yes. You're welcome, Ben. I
Oh.
think you're watching.
Twitter. I need to get on Twitter. Charles, I need
What is it? How again? Sorry.
My name, Jeff. Still funny.
You remember the meme that went around like a million years ago?
Put like a
It was
laughing,
like, my
crying
name's
laughing
Jeff,
emojis.
and it's not funny.
What? My name?
It's still funny.
It's really funny.
Hey, Charlie, look,
I'm
Charlie.
almost done.
My
Where's
name's
the
Jeff.
fire emoji? Is it in
I
nature?
hit the desk. It was not earthquake. Reef. All right, Reef.
Okay.
My name Jeff.
Reef Bianca, a baby.
There's also some glass behind you just for the future.
See, I don't have. Oh.
I don't know who your daily is, but I
Jeff.
also think
Right.
It's still funny.
comedy gold,
That's all.
platinum even.
Like
All right.
this guy.
We're caught up on our donations.
My extra life dice.
Thank God. Where the heck are we?
Can we make another donation?
No.
Get on that.
No more money for the children. $10 increments or nothing.
Oh. Dang, that's right.
Right.
At least for the next minute.
Oh. Okay. And 61 seconds.
Set a timer for 1 minute.
All right, where we at? We're squid. We're trying to get out. I got some connect forward.
Oh yeah, we're squidding.
Oh, you had just received your 14 platinum and your 2 rings. And you two have pockets with random assortments.
Yes.
Are we gonna?
I see them doing it.
Are
I
we
feel
gonna
bad,
leave
so I
through
got
that
some.
weird hole you found?
There is a tunnel. You can try.
I mean,
Okay.
it's better than going in the water. I would much
Yeah.
rather not get my hair wet again.
We can always come back over here if we need to.
I prefer breathing.
Another escape route.
Rude.
Maybe we can all go. I don't think it matters too much.
It's very
Yep.
narrow, so we'll have to go single file.
Okay.
You'll have to definitely be first because you got light on
Yep.
something.
Do we want to put light in the front and the back?
Maybe that's a
Find out.
bad
I can give everybody
idea.
a light.
What?
What if something sees the light? What if the squid isn't the only thing
Anybody
here?
see
Yeah, but we
it?
also need to be
Then we
able to
can
see.
beat the shizzle. out
I'm
of the
sorry.
person.
I'm pretty sure
Oh.
the majority of us can
Wait,
see.
Oh,
guys,
yeah.
I put
You're
my
right.
night vision goggles on.
Nice.
Not night vision goggles. Dark
then-
vision.
Almost.
This guy takes your
We're
point.
not-
then.
Hagatha's
Oh.
just sad.
The
You have
timer went
diamond.
off,
Yeah.
so we're back to not 10.
Oh, great.
Somebody donate a cent.
Hi, Bianca.
Or more.
Donkey. Hi,
That's
Pinky.
kitty.
Hi, Boko.
Kitty can.
Hi, Pinky.
That's the cat cam.
Oh, she fell.
She's just so sleepy, you guys.
Yeah, that
She doesn't
cam.
know what to do.
It's just a tail on the camera. Alright.
You walk down this pathway. You've got
Marcone's taking the lead.
we've got Marcone at the lead. Who's in second?
If we want to light in the front, I'll be in second.
Who's
got-
I
last?
think we're not doing light because all of us have dark vision except for Hagatha.
Yeah.
I've got
So
my.
we'll just put
and
Hagatha
she's
in
got
the
light
middle.
on her symbol.
I'll take
I have
the.
light.
Yeah. I'll take the rear.
Okay.
Okay.
As I'm walking, I'm gonna have my hand on my hammer on my back, ready to.
Mhm. Fair enough. Well, you walk down the hall for quite some time, and I'm going to call it a hall instead of just a cave entrance or a long wind. It after a little bit, it seems too straight and too long not to have some sort of a hand in its straightness and in its walls. And I would say that as you're walking, you even begin to notice that it gets smoother
Oh.
and more well chiseled.
We're gonna get to a
And
like
more
a
well
house.
cut. And as you continue, it's even more well chiseled and now smooth. And now you're not standing on pebbles at all.
And this is weird.
Mhm.
Kind of look for gingerbreadness because we've been in underground or tunnels before.
I think no, that's a great idea. That's
so like,
horrifying.
can I
Gingerbread
see if I
smell.
smell or see gingerbread dust, whatever we used to call it?
Mm-hmm. This will be.
Crumbs.
Oh
This
my
is
gosh.
either my
Gingerbread
perception.
mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna do investigation because I'm picturing you down like looking for clues.
No clue. Oh, that's not bad. 19.
Not too far to go down. I know.
Had you done that roll back in the cave, you'd have come up completely empty no matter what you rolled.
Oh, sweet ham.
As you've waited until this point when the walls are slicker and the floors are slicker,
Due to the gingerbread.
you pick up the faintest, not even visible. It's because you were bent down low looking that you catch a whiff of ginger. There's
Hey,
a
brothers.
gingerbread smell wafting down the hall towards you.
No.
There's gingerbreadies.
Bring 'em.
Oh.
I pull out my hammer and point it forward and say, I think we gotta go do this.
Pull out my short sword.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
I pull out nothing because I have
Whoa,
nothing.
whoa, 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 whoa.
I give you a
Okay.
dagger.
We
I-
killed the queen, which is great.
Yes.
Poppin', guys, great.
Then we killed, what's his name?
Felix, that was awesome.
They're in my bag.
And I know, Agatha, you're pretty kick-ass when it comes to killing these gingerbread people,
So are
children.
all of us. We're good at
Yes,
this.
yes, but we all know Agatha's skill. We
But
just,
I killed 130 at one time.
we are just, we don't know how many or who's gonna be there. So just going straight into this,
We never
We
knew
never do.
beforehand when we attacked something like this. I think we should go in and stop this because that is technically our whole goal of everything we've been doing for the past few weeks.
Years,
With
months,
Marcone,
weeks.
It's my mission to end this abomination.
I haven't lit something on fire.
all
in
right,
at
but
least a day.
if things start getting nasty, what are we gonna do? We don't even know what we're walking into.
Run back to the cave and go out that way?
What if the
squid-
squid is there? Then we're gonna have to fight gingerbread people and a squid?
We'll go out this way.
Well,
Hey,
the
new
squid
friends
thinks we're
for the squid.
yeah.
We got him.
Or we can exactly. We'll give him new
Yes.
friends.
Yes.
Although we don't
Easy.
really want the
And stay
gingerbread man to be
crispy and
alive.
But the squid will kill it.
True.
We'll kill him.
Crunch.
Munch. But anyway,
Soggy.
I think we should go forward with this.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do 4.
What else are we gonna do? Swim out?
3.
Well, I can't seem. I don't think I'm gonna change your guys' mind, but
Nope.
Absolutely not.
please, for once, let's be careful.
Oh,
I'm always careful.
be careful is my middle name.
What are we
I know
not?
that that's not true.
Okay, you're right. I don't
Yeah.
have one.
Just
But
I was
we're gonna
careful
kill
with the
some
skull
gingerbread.
rings.
Alright,
Alright.
let's go, I guess.
And
going.
I started a marching.
All right, you continue
Start
walking
behind
down
it.
this hall.
Swag, are
Uh,
you next to me?
Yes.
We're in single file, I think.
I mean, like in front of me.
Yeah, I'm second, sorry, third.
Oh, are you second? No, I'm in the back. Sorry.
Then
I'm sorry.
He's by me.
Dog.
Oh, dog.
So you walk in the dark for a little bit, and I would say a few minutes passes, and you're carefully stepping forward and being observant about what's in front of you. In the distance, you begin to see illumination. You're lighting up the hall yourself, which makes it odd that in the distance you can see light coming towards you. I'm saying towards you, I don't mean it's moving towards you, I just mean it seems to be radiating towards you.
Hey, maybe we should cut the lights.
I cut my light.
Yeah, there's only 2 lights.
Alright, in complete darkness, you continue to walk forward, and you notice that the hall comes to an abrupt end, but it's not the end of the hall, it's a sharp turn to the right. And that sharp turn doesn't turn in the same width that the hallway is, it turns with a much wider hallway to your right. So as you come around the corner, you find that what you thought was a hall bending turns out to be a room that also has some other little rooms coming off of it. You don't see anything where you are right now, but the smell that Swageki warned you about is now filling the room. You smell the strong smell of gingerbread, and you hear a shuffling coming from the other end of the large stone room that you're in.
So, what's the radius of that spell that you can just kind of kill them all with? Like, could you just go up to the side of that door and use it? Or is it not that?
It's, depends on how far away they are. Maybe 30 feet.
30 feet, okay. Because, I don't know, we could maybe get them to just all come in this big room, like make a ruckus or something, get them to come in here.
Like
And
we did
then, doesn't
in the
one of us have
forest.
thunderous
Thunderclap?
Thunderclap?
thunder? Yeah.
I have, like, fireball. What are we talking about?
Well, thunderclap's like a big, huge, explodey sound. Maybe we could.
Oh, you
Maybe.
want
Oh,
to try
to
and?
lure them.
I have minor illusion.
I can yell.
True, yeah. Just like something that would get any like of the gingerbread men to surround us, and then.
What if? Now listen. What if I disguised myself as Felix and walked in?
I think.
They don't know he's dead. I
It
feel
would
like.
Well,
fool them.
I feel like him being dead's a lot more. Well, I don't know. I
We
don't
can
know how
fake his
around
death
the world.
with Alma.
Also, if their smell is coming from another hallway, like down a hall, because I have Agonizer Scorcher, which would be great for killing them down a hall. So if we can lure them into that hall, just boom, boom.
Right,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
so
thinking. Like,
already seems
we
like
could
the
do
best
that,
idea
and
right
then
now.
like any left over. I just need like I think we could get them all in one hallway, and then
Boosh.
do some spell, something or other. That's awesome that you guys can do.
Yeah. So do we want to lure them with like a big yell? Can you when you disguise yourself, you gain their voice, correct?
Or
no, you have to do that yourself.
Hold on, let me find it.
Because if you get their voice, you can just yell as like Felix at the beginning or
Is
something
like
like that.
having like fireworks or something? Or am I imagining
Done
that?
with this hat.
I-
No, that was the vials.
Prestidigitation.
That was the vials of gasoline or whatever we bought. Remember?
Oh, that was
The
cool.
like oil.
Okay.
Yeah.
We never did use that to burn the castle down.
Oh.
That's just because we killed the queen.
Yeah.
We did definitely. Yeah, I believe I still have that though. Yeah, I still have that. I don't have it on me. It's upstairs, on the shore.
I'll just break the mood for just a second and let everybody in the audience know that we're about an hour and 10 minutes away from having somebody join us and serenade us. We'll get about 15 to 20 minutes of singing. I would just want Parker to make sure that that's still on.
It is. We just have to figure out how to get her here. I was gonna talk to you when we went on break, but
Airplane.
There's no break for this one.
okay. Then I was gonna text Cameron or get her an Uber.
Is she at your house? Cool.
Dope.
Cool. Back in your mood.
So, is anyone against me just yelling?
I'm fine with the yelling.
What if we
I have
all
no
yell?
issue with that.
We could all do it. It'd be
Agatha just
loud.
starts yelling.
Oh gosh, here! Oh! It's that stupid gnome and his friends. Like the big guy.
Almost gonna cast invisibility.
There's one less of them now.
Agatha's just like, come out, you abominations of hell.
I grab one of my
Starts
hammer with my
pushing
other
forward.
hand.
Yeah, I very much have a short sword like in hand.
And relight her light.
I'm not going to make you roll for performance because I could tell from the way you play acted that was spot on.
Dope.
And I'll also say that
Thank you.
after waiting a few moments for whatever was supposed to come, nothing comes.
Oh.
You're not being. You hear nothing in the
Oh,
distance
sorry.
shuffling towards you. You don't have any reason to believe that you've been heard.
If somebody lets me hit them with my boomerang twice, we can get a thunderous clap.
Well, I do have a lot of health.
Okay, cool.
I mean, don't get hurt easily.
I mean, does it have to be a being
That
you
was
hit it with?
definitely more of a joke.
Well, do you have to hit a being, or can you hit like a book? Because I have a do-it-yourself home repair book.
Don't you
No!
learn how to do it yourself?
I need that
Swaggy?
book to learn.
Huh? Okay, fine. I have a.
Do you have any of this on
I have a
you? I thought
cookbook.
it was all in the...
Nope. I just realized I don't have my bag. I have this dagger. Can you hit this dagger?
I don't know.
Try it.
What are you
Oh, Goofy.
I feel like that armor. Do it. Just hit the wall.
I don't. Okay. I'm gonna take my 2 boomerangs and hit them at the wall.
Are you just trying to make a boom?
Because if both hit the same target, then it does thunderous clap. Ruth, is my brown dagger down there?
Mhm.
Can you grab my Grimm folder from me?
When you throw your boomerangs and they hit the wall like that, they hit the wall, but they don't have the magical effect go off.
That's.
What is the layout? How far ahead can we see? You said there's other runes off going off to the side.
Oh, this is like a bunch of.
You can see forward about 60 feet,
Okay.
60, 65 feet.
I guess it starts moving forward. And relight these guys are relit now, so you know.
Okay. There was light in the room when you turned yours off. It was illuminated from actual torches in the wall, something you hadn't seen down here. When you were yelling for everybody, those torches were at the far end of the
Oh, yeah,
room that you were in.
said there was a lamp.
It's still funny.
From where you are, looking in that direction, you're walking there. As you walk, you pass by a couple of alcoves, and when you look in them, you see barrels, and there are some. I wouldn't call them labels so much as some identifying marks scratched on the side. And as you pass another one of those, you find crates that look kind of similar. And then you get to this last end room that's a little bit larger. And this one is filled with something that's very familiar to you. It looks exactly like the cookie factory that you'd found in the original witch's hut. And this would be the bottom floor. This is where the bench is and where the containers are that you put into the fire to turn it magical so that the baking that takes place above there is effective.
Okay. I'm gonna do an Eyes of the Grave. I can sense any undead within 60 feet of you.
Okay.
Anything?
That 60 feet is visual range? Or a 60-foot bubble around you?
It isn't behind total cover. So yeah, visible range.
So it's weird. When you cast that generally and it's worked, it's really identified a very strong, let's say, anytime you use this spell, you're able to see what you're looking for, and the entire creature seems to be identified. The spell lights them up, so to speak.
Right.
You get that same kind of illumination, but it's all around the oven, and it's not in the form of a creature. It seems to be sprinkled on the ground It seems to be sprinkled on the lip of the fireplace, and it seems to be maybe even sprinkled among the ashes. So you're getting an undead ping, but not from a creature like you're used to, or a being like you're used to.
The crumbs are alive.
Oh.
So it's the pre-animated matte material that we use.
Whatever it is must have undead properties.
And there's like, what am I seeing? Am I seeing like an oven? Or
Yeah. So when you originally saw this, it looked like a giant industrial oven on the bottom, and it doesn't look like where any of the baking takes place. What you'd learned before even was this was the kind of place where you would put the wood in for the fire, but it's also where the magicians, the mad mages, would use their canisters of different concoctions, and when those would burn, it would activate some of the other spells that are taking place up above. And the last one of these that you saw was a 4-story oven with the cooking taking place on the 2nd and 3rd floor, and the drying taking place on the 3rd and 4th floors.
You know, if it's still 4 stories, last time we were in one of these, the witch had a room with the 4th story.
And that might also be the
Swageki.
Yeah.
Burn this shit.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't even remember if you asked last something. I thought you never asked.
Flame on.
So is it too much to fireball, or is fireball comfortable about?
Well, it's a little
Maybe.
bit distributed. We've got alcoves with different materials and then an oven.
Let's
so
pour the
so
oil
what?
on it.
Some firebolts going on here.
I don't think my
This is
secret's going to
getting
work.
children.
Can you describe this physically for me? Try to get a redistribute of it.
Yes. You've got a stone oven that you're looking at. There's an opening about the size of a person, and that's where the wood and the barrels that get burned get pushed in.
Okay.
The alcoves that
Are the barrels just like fuel for the oven?
no, they're filled with a lot of magical
Raw materials?
raw materials. Yeah, when burned and
Cookie
mixed with
dough.
the wood. Yeah, when the barrels are added to the fire, and you remember that up above. For those of you that don't know, it takes 13. It takes 13 gingerbread men to make a child. The children that are used to turn these gingerbread men into the zombies that they are come from a pretty gruesome place. When the children are harvested and turned into
Gingerbread.
the dough, that by itself is not an undead thing. It's just the gross flesh of dead children mixed with other ingredients and then shaped into large cookies. It's not until they're baked in the heat and these chemicals or the magical components that are burned that those concoctions begin to come to life and take on a consciousness of their own.
So they could just bake actual cookies, they're just messed up.
Yeah, without the barrels and stuff, they would just turn into like meat pies.
Oh.
So you see,
Close.
we're adventuring to save the children.
We're
Yeah.
saving the children.
For the children,
we are
guys.
still.
That's what this whole
That's what
live stream is about.
Exactly.
Saving the
It's all in character.
Yeah. Donate.
So yeah,
Um,
burn this,
So I don't.
burn it to the ground.
Do you want to burn it, or do you want me to erupt Earth to like
You can do both.
break it? And if
Cleansing fire, just burn it.
it's fine, okay.
It's your favorite,
It is my favorite.
even though that's very odd that you worship a water goddess and your favorite thing is fire.
We'll go into that later. I think
It's very complex.
I'm comfortable with fireball because I think that's a big boost that'll get
Yeah.
the physical. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Everybody take cover.
All right, step back, step back, step back. It's my first time. It's my first time.
All right.
Okay, I'll put that back down. We'll go. All right. Boosh. I'm gonna cast fireball.
So much
Beautiful.
hyper. Boosh.
The power of the water goddess, burn thee! And I'm gonna which doesn't make sense. And I'm gonna burn the oven and everything. Everything it
enough.
loves.
That's a really good place for us to then take a little break.
Oh, hell yeah.
So we'll find out exactly what's going to happen when we get back from our break. Speaking of children, it's entirely time for us now to get back to a fireball. Or was it fireball or?
It was a
Fireball.
My first fireball.
That's their
The big old
approved.
actually ever. No. Yeah, as a player.
He sees more treasure coming to his.
Hopefully we don't actually find him. He'd kill us all.
That would be bad.
If you had a room of barrels and a room of crates and a stone fireplace, which would you be attacking first with your fireball?
Is it? Oh, they're not all centralized.
No, they were almost like cubbies. A cubby of barrels, a cubby of crates, and then the stove. It looked like they roll the barrels or carry the crates around to the stove and they use
Are they?
it.
They're not all within a 20-foot radius.
No, that's why I was suggesting the firebolt. I mean,
Firebolt.
if you want to fireball
What's the
something, I'll go
biggest
with the
thing?
oven.
Oh, the oven. Okay, then I'll fireball the oven. We'll deal with the other stuff later.
I just want to make sure I'm hearing you right. You would like to use fireball on an oven made of stone that holds fire?
Well, it is an
You must have
explosion.
misheard me. I meant the barrels.
Oh, okay. Or, I mean, if you want to start with the fireplace, I
Do
just
you
want to make
have,
sure
like, an
you're attacking
earthquake
with the
spell?
right thing.
Don't you have like an earthquake spell? or
Yeah,
something?
we want to use that. We'll use that on the thing. So we just want to put fireball away. I did that whole funny thing. We can do fireball later.
There's always room.
I'm not sad. I'm not sad.
I was just picturing like Tim the Enchanter and Holy Grail, and he's just like.
I'm picturing that too. I'm gonna switch gears here and cast erupting earth in the center of in the stove.
Erupting fire.
So what it a fountain of churned earth of
Yeah.
stone erupts in that area.
I like it. You just cast that spell, right? There's no...
Yeah, it has to take a dexterity save.
It fails.
Oh, yeah. Do
I was worried.
I wouldn't be worried if it succeeded.
I would be a little concerned.
Just
what
the-
an intense
It'd be a mimic building.
mimic.
Maybe
Have
spell
you
again?
seen
erupting earth.
Yep.
I know this is like
An actual ship and not like.
They don't have a D12.
shipping.
a D12. You better
Is that
believe
this
it.
one?
Yeah. Sorry, Reed.
I guess not.
Don't believe it.
But
How many
this
dice are you
awful
rolling?
mess of a
3d12.
thing.
Papa.
It's like an actual link. Here's its page.
Oh my god. I got 14.
That's amazing.
4 minutes left.
If this were a person, or if this were a monster, or if this were a beast/animal, then you would be doing damage to it. And by doing that damage, you would be moving it closer and closer to death.
Computer's almost dead.
This, on the other hand, is a stone structure.
4 minutes
It's a stove, and the stove goes up and reaches to the ceiling above. And the base down below where this is centered is where you might put the wood and the barrels into this fire. When you cast this, a geyser of stone and rock comes up from beneath where the fireplace sits, and it shoots up. And it does enough damage to the rocks around the bottom that when the spell disperses and the energy is released, gravity not only brings down the stones that were just above it, they continue to cascade down until it reaches all the way up to the ceiling where you thought the hole stopped. And then from there, more stones come falling out, even from above. It's almost like you started a chain reaction, and yep, it took just a moment. You see a lot of material coming down now that looks like it's from a stone room or a stone oven that was above this one.
Good thing this wasn't holding anything else up.
You're left with a giant pile of rubble that's it's almost touching the ceiling, it's so big, and it all seems to have either come out of the chimney that you could see at first, or the hole that was burrowed into the ceiling up above.
It's just like, okay.
So,
I accept that.
So I'll switch gears here to the barrels.
Should we, if they're gonna explode, should we be, I don't know if they'll explode, but I mean, if we just knocked out
These
that
aren't-
whole,
these aren't
is the
video game
floor
barrels.
above us? No, I know. I'm just saying, man. The floor above us is that super stable. Should we be worried if that'll just collapse in
We
on
start
us?
Cowering.
I cast fire. I mean, do we want to be cautious of that?
Do you guys remember when we were at the witch's house in Marcone?
No. No.
Flip that table over with all those
Oh.
potions on it, and it kind of
Yeah.
exploded and stuff.
Hey, he's
Remember
learned
that
from his
well.
mistakes.
No, I think we can all learn from Marcone's mistakes.
I'm gonna cast
So
firebolt on the barrels.
Apparently we don't learn.
Well, here we go.
What's in those barrels?
Do
You
it.
said it wasn't. It's like materials.
It's like
Oh, but when they're lit, they.
cookie dough.
So it is kids.
Probably kid
Because
kid mush?
if it wasn't kids.
I mean, like, I bet if you lift the lid open, it's probably just.
Do you think we
there's
could
some
talk-
vials,
Bad
like-
taste.
We
Damn.
could talk to dead them.
Based on an Arcana check,
Ew.
based on an Arcana check that was done long, long ago,
I did.
you guys know that the barrels and the packets that get thrown into the fire are just the magical components. The kid meat, all that stuff was
That's in the-
upstairs
So
before.
this is the
This is
exploding
it's what gets added to the fire so that as the smoke goes up, it interacts with the flesh cookies and turns them into the zombies that you guys have fought
So,
before.
do we not want to blow this up? Do we want to leave it? Or do we want to?
Should we blow it and run? Can we?
Yeah, blow it.
I don't see why not blow it.
Well,
Is there
here's.
another exit? Does the tunnel keep going on the other side of the room?
Do a perception check.
See, my only thing is.
Can I help?
Nice.
We'll see.
What's my bonus?
Not bad.
16.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, this is really, it's pretty straightforward. At the back of the room where there were some, not necessarily an alcove of shadows, but for whatever reason it was hidden to you until you specifically tried to find it, you see a spiral staircase that goes up.
Ah, there's our exit.
Good
Let's
thing we
get on
didn't
the
blow that
stairs
up.
And then
We should have
And
blown that
then shoot it off.
burn the rest.
I agree. I like that.
up. I like it too.
All right.
Although I guess if the floor.
I don't guess my sacred flame would actually burn anything, would it?
Let's do safety.
Flame-like radiance.
I think that the specific thing about yours is that it keeps burning non-magical fire.
Oh, we're talking about create bonfire.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that one?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, it'll.
That's just a cantrip, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, do that.
So yeah, you can put it on each of the
On the barrels.
like
Right.
1, 2, 3.
Start a
Well,
fire.
I
move
think
it.
it's a concentration, so I can't create multiple, but I can just create one.
Oh.
Well,
Yes.
like, because it starts the fire and then you can move it to start
What
another
if,
fire.
Since we're right here,
Technically,
let's
yes.
put all of the barrels together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I go and move one of the barrels.
Crazy.
Barbarian things. All right, so now they're all near each other. I will.
Unless you want us to roll.
Can we push all of the barrels into one centralized location?
Oh, I guess we didn't have.
You guys working together have that handled without any problems at all.
So my
Can't be
clock's
5
19.
minutes. 5 minutes of work.
Awesome. Then I'm going to attempt to burn these barrels with the might of my mighty goddess.
I'm walking to the staircase and getting on the staircase fast.
And I cast Firebolt, which is a ranged spell attack. So I do. I would probably have to roll for whatever, but
So you pull out a small bit of bat guano.
that's for Fireball. I'm doing Firebolt, which is.
I thought you were doing bonfire.
What?
He is doing bonfire.
Oh,
That's a cantrip.
even different. I think that also takes nothing. Yeah, that, create bonfire. Isn't it? Create bonfire.
One. Oh, and she's dead. Oh, Missy computer.
Oh no.
Goodbye. Yeah, so I don't. It's
5 foot cube, 1d8. All right.
Where's my fire D8? Oh, I have a fire D10 for Firebolt.
Do you want a fire D8?
Oh, it's 2d8 for you, right? Because 5th level?
Yeah, because I'm cool.
Oh, right. Remember when it was 1d4?
Go ahead.
I no.
I probably am wrong. I do that a lot.
I think I have something else. That's what magic missile is. And kaboom. 9.
So it's not just the damage that you do initially, it's the fact that flame is added to something that is meant to burn.
And anytime it ends its turn there, it takes more of this. Like roll again for the damage.
Good thing we rolled
What's about to
initiative.
happen is its existence is ending. You've set a lot of wooden crates and barrels on fire, and it takes moments for them to crack and break open, revealing their components inside. And when the fire hits those,
Gold.
a thick, rich purple smoke begins
no.
to pour out.
Oh
You
geez.
see a sparkling gold. It looks like a purple blob with sparkly gold, and it's growing.
I run
and
up the
it's growing
stairs.
quickly, and it's filling the
go.
room.
Run.
Are
And
all of you running?
I cover my mouth as I'm running,
Faster
so I
would be
like
better.
breathe less. I guess.
The billowing smoke is expanding at such a fast rate. You guys are all sprinting for the spiral staircase, and I think just for the sake of the fun of it, I'd like all of you to roll an athletics.
Oh, I'm good at those.
This will be
gonna
a save.
Okay, so my computer died, so I'm gonna have to.
So you
pull
can
this out.
add your
Athletics, you said?
yeah.
Woo! Both net 20s.
So with that, okay.
One of
You
26
nimbly,
if you
nimbly
want to be
dance out of the
really-
way of the smoke and are on the way up.
Can I do a front flip?
Yeah. With a
That
20?
is a saving throw?
Yes, you get to
I
add.
rolled an 8.
Total?
Yeah.
You really did that.
Okay, let's see where everybody else is.
Sorry, this is
Wait, so since it's a saving... Oh, never mind, I'm dumb.
characters.
9?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, great.
Marco. You.
Just roll
Athletic
that.
saving throw?
Yes.
Yeah.
You got it, Rob.
I swear, guys, got like plus zero. My stone of good luck makes that 5 a 6, and maybe I'll have something.
All right. The two of you are practically halfway up a spiral staircase. You don't know how high it goes, but you are booking it up. The three of you need to roll a Constitution save.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
You're trying to beat a 10. It's not bad. It's a 10.
Bring a drink with me, that's stupid.
Oh, you
Yeah, because this isn't loading. This is my.
Baby, 11!
Thank you.
I rolled
I want to say that's cocked.
You can if it is, but
It's
you
a
can't if it
little
isn't.
cocked. I can. See that?
17.
You see that? It moved a little. And D&D Beyond's not loading, and I'm very not pleased.
I gotcha.
Oh, beef, doing beef things.
Marcone.
Reef be like.
Probably dead.
+2.
Great. 4, 5, 6.
You made me look up your modifier after rolling a 4.
I rolled a 3. I just have my stone of good luck on me. It was a little cocked. It was a. I could push it and it moved a little bit. I'm not trying to get. I got a 6 in all.
Fair
I'm
enough.
just trying to make a point.
Hagatha, your constitution is such that even though you were exposed to those chemicals a little bit because you weren't as fast as some of the other members of your party, you brush off their effects without any problem. For a brief moment, you feel your vision go a little fuzzy, and then you shake your head and snap right out of it. And I will say that when you're having that brief moment, you experience a feeling that you've...
Oh wait, it was a saving throw?
You would recognize that it was like one of the specific times that you've been in a
Charlie's
small way
triggered.
communicating with the Raven Queen. Maybe it's the feeling of death or the feeling of a soul that's leaving. For whatever reason, you've had experience enough
the
to
kids.
have a recognition with this feeling, not just the feeling.
It was a saving throw?
What would that change?
It's my saving throws are plus 5 on con.
And what does that give you? An 8?
A 9. Never mind.
I feel like we.
It's still good to try.
So I got a $40
what does it do to you?
donation just now.
40.
It was from my mom.
I'm paying. I'm gonna
Hey.
put in $4 to get my first place.
Well, thank you very much, because it's those donations that we're here for. It's also so that we can make my son over there have to cough up purple smoke.
Yay!
Oh, hey, remember the purple smoke from the Green Witches? Remember that?
Yeah,
That was terrifying.
I think we just got another one.
I don't.
That's awesome. So we're going to go ahead and stop what we're doing because that's worth tending to right now. I'm
scared.
going to
It's like 4 rolls.
readjust. We're now at a 1, 2, Reef,
Yeah.
2,
Bye bye.
3, 4, 5, and Zoe's taking the 6 for me. Yes.
Wow.
Beautiful.
No!
All right.
Minding
Putting-
your own business.
There we
Hey,
go.
Angus is eating that bread.
Angus,
Well,
don't eat the bread.
let him.
He stopped.
That's
He
for
wants
meatball
bread.
subs later. All right, here we go.
It's always bread.
It's weighted. I think we should use a different dice
Yeah.
after
Is it
this.
weighted on the-
Yeah.
Nice.
Go ahead and roll a d20 for us. Let's see how long you
It's
get the
cocked.
box for.
1
1.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
Critical failure.
Oh no.
Do a barrel roll. I made that joke before.
It's a different table. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Was it double?
You give both the dogs a treat.
Oh,
That's such a good
dog.
Also, is that
Oh,
virtual
man.
reality?
It's rough.
I know.
And I mean, rough.
So we'll just give you a sec. Do we have dog treats ready?
Sure.
If not, we'll give them bagels.
Just give them 2 meatballs.
Or lemons. We can just feed them lemons.
But she said it again.
Oh, I don't
Was
know.
that worth $40?
I've done so much money. You know how much money I have?
It was. They're good dogs and they deserve it.
Oh, it's definitely for kids, but
Also, we couldn't eat one. Are we almost done?
I don't know.
What do we
Dog
do?
treats,
If we
dog
reach it
treats,
during our-
dog treats.
Do we have to put them on the table so we
Yeah,
can use
everybody
the...
grab a dog. I need a couple people to help with Mabel.
Yeah.
We're only.
She's like 10. How many people do we have here?
We're gonna get
Yeah.
everyone donate so we can get the goal in our campaign. We have 30 minutes left. If we can get the goal now, I don't know how. Something cool, probably.
Maybe.
There's
possibly.
something's planned for it.
I'll put in
Salami.
I'll put in
It's
a
not
dollar right
salami.
now.
Charlie!
What?
Just over at your seat. Nobody.
It's for the kids.
Look, I got some stuff for you.
Go that way. That's where the snacks are.
These are vegetarian.
They really-
Puppies!
Hey, Pops, look
Thank
at
you,
this.
Wild KK. Thank you for the follow.
Oh, hey, Kyle Cohen.
Yeah,
Full
baby.
relief of to be continued.
My mom said
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Kaylinda's mom.
Oh, what happy
I
doggies.
rolled
They're
20s
so
on there.
Hattie got in the pool. She's wet.
Skill checks.
Oh my goodness, Hattie is drenched.
She got
Thanks,
the pool.
Hattie.
Yeah, she has free access to the pool, so she's like this regularly.
No, she does that.
She has her own raft.
She
Actually,
does.
no, literally, it's not a joke.
That's all. You only get the one. Sorry.
It's not like...
So with $40 donation, does that mean I have to roll 4 times?
No, it just means we're so appreciative. so appreciative. However, we do have. Did we break any levels? Was that a benchmark breaker?
We are
We're past 100.
so close.
We're at 173.
Somebody get the party poppers.
So we're pretty close
174,
to.
you just donated a
Just
dollar.
charge.
Ozzy having to eat some
Char.
cinnamon on a spoon for one thing.
Money.
Well, let's get caught up here. We've got you guys for about 29 more minutes before we have our singing star come on.
Looking at you, Mr. Skeleton.
Mr. Skellington.
Skeleton? Oh, that one.
There are 2 skulls.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there's a few more. There's
There's
also
a
the lids.
considerable lack, though. I feel like there could be more.
I could.
Can we just like
can supply
drench
more.
the room?
I can make that happen.
Do you want real or fake? Because
Yeah.
I can do both.
They all have to be human.
Yeah. I've got an array.
Okay,
Orangutan.
What did you roll? What was your save?
Yeah, an 11.
Okay, and you were less than a 10.
Yep.
Okay.
I 1-800 failed.
Suddenly,
Yeah,
disappears before you.
I just like I'm like going
I've
crazy.
been
Just, like,
waiting for you, Marco.
all my life. You.
That's good thinking. I'll do that.
Should have batteries.
Thank you. So, as Alma and Hagatha successfully sprint away from the. You had the same
Why is it you guys get, like,
interaction
nat
with
20s
the
every time?
purple
I don't
smoke that
think
Hagatha had, but you don't recognize the feeling. For a minute, your field of vision seemed to blur, and you got a tingly feeling on the sides of your face, and everything kind of went a little fuzzy, and then you snapped out of it and continued to move forward. Marcone, however, was overtaken by this feeling,
Oh,
and he
no.
comes
Guys.
to a complete stop
Hey.
right in the middle of the floor. You're behind him. Hagatha's in front of him based on an earlier roll. And the thing that you feel, Marcone, is this field of vision blurring. It doesn't stop at the edge of your field of vision. It slowly encompasses you, and you find yourself in a fog, not worried about anything at all.
Hey guys, feeling's hard.
One of us is gonna have to go
Marcone?
back to
Marcone? Mark,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on, Marcone. I'm gonna grab him by his shirt and start dragging him with me.
Do I just fall over or do I like go along? I don't really know
You
if
seem to be in a stupor, and as you're tugged forward, you stumble, forward.
The heaviest
You manage to get a foot in front of yourself and a foot in front of yourself.
I think it's a spiral staircase.
You're going really slow, which is better, I guess, than not going at all. And you eventually make it to the staircase. Hagatha's up several. Who was in the front? I just said a second ago and I forgot.
I mean,
I went
You're the one that
grabbed-
grabbed him. You're already up a few stairs, and you look down. You see them reach the bottom, and you see Marcone not necessarily marching up the stairs. He seems to be stopped at the bottom. You're with him, stopped at the bottom.
Come on, Marcone, just a step. Let's go.
Yeah, buddy.
You just pick up your foot and put it on the step.
One foot
Just
in
move
front
forward,
of the
Marcone.
other.
Guys, he's so heavy. I can't do this again.
I jump down. I slide down the railing.
You're so small.
What? Oh, hold on. And I'm gonna cast flying.
Oh.
I'm gonna cast fly on Marcone.
Thank you.
it's just like a balloon.
When you guys fly on him, is he responsible for his direction, or are you?
Well, he can now fly, so he's
Can we
responsible
just
for
tie
his
a rope
direction.
on him and pull him like a balloon?
That's what I'm
I was
thinking.
just gonna grab onto his shirt and keep pulling him,
I have room.
or grab his hand.
Because the fly spell was cast on him, and you grab him by the hand, as you're going up the stairs yourself, you can look down and see his feet dragging up each of the stairs. But he is going up in a way that he wasn't able to before, which is good because the smoke had billowed out and expanded all the way to where the staircase is, and now it's beginning to spiral up. Let's see, we've got Marcone is in a tight spot, Alma's helping. We've got Bart at the lead. Bartholomew, you've reached that second opening. There's a second floor, and you've reached an opening to it.
Mm-hmm.
And while you're standing there waiting for the people below you to catch up, you can look in this room, and just without any rolls or anything like that, you're able to see where there used to be a fireplace and a chimney and maybe some cooking racks over against a wall. But instead of those being there, there's a big open space and a hole in the floor and a few errant stones laying around it, as if something had collapsed and then gone down the hole.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I
they-
yell back down to everyone, they're like, hey, this place looks abandoned, but still be careful on your footing.
Okay.
And I stop until they figure out how to get Marcone up, and once I see Marcone's coming again, I keep going.
It ends up being a lot easier than it seemed like it would be.
Shortcuts.
Marcone seemed like he wasn't going to be able to help at all, but the fly spell has done some wondrous things. He's not conscious enough to be able to fly himself as fast as you guys might like him to be, but he's certainly levitating. Kind of levitating.
Leva corpus.
All of you eventually reach that second floor, and the spiral stairs continue to go up, and I'm guessing you continue to go up?
200. No, I think it's super like $1 away. $1.99.
So good. So, you're rushing
Keep
up
going,
these
yeah,
stairs?
as fast as we can.
Nobody's stopping at the second floor?
Can I, since I'm at the last with Marcone, can I just stick my head in? Like a quick pass-by perception run-up?
Yeah, and I would say that even with a pretty good look there, you're seeing exactly what Bart saw, which is just the remnants of where a stove and a chimney had been. You'd seen a second floor like this before, and you know that if it was still standing, you'd probably also see some cooling racks. It's just not there.
Okay. Do I see anything in my quick look? Could I possibly see anything? Does anything look
We did it.
new-ish or fresh? Or is it all, like, old? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, has there been any baking recently?
I'll tell you, there's one thing you might see, so go ahead and you sound like you're taking more than just a quick glance, so no, you're taking a focused perception, so perception.
This is called investigations.
21.
There's a candle burning on a table.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
That's not good at all.
Somebody's
Okay.
there.
And the smoke is rising.
I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna whisper as quietly as possible. Guys, did you
Is
see?
that smoke?
Did you see the candle
No,
in that
if it
room?
was
It was
explosive,
lit.
it would have exploded.
Like,
Right, there was
There's a
sparking
burning
in it, he
candle.
said, though.
okay, crap.
Maybe
that
we
might
should
have been
be a little
as
more
it was
stealthy.
igniting.
I know that we can't because we're kind of on the move, but
Yeah, no, we can use out there.
Can we run up the stairs stealthy?
Everybody?
Welcome to try.
If everybody's saying yes,
Yes.
then roll for stealth.
I'll roll
While
for
we're
stealth.
doing that,
Natural 20.
You know, if I mess this up, does that mean I'm just going after like Gator Nation?
Both of them?
You can give 2.
Yeah, I think he was
He pushes over the.
Yeah.
He would.
He would do that. Think of him, I got 3.
I got a 19.
I got a 2.
Natural 20.
You,
I also
I got an 18.
So
How am I stealthy?
20,
Oh, 'cause I'm
19,
floating.
18, and then 3, 4.
Hold on.
2, 3.
I got a 6 plus mine. I got a 2 plus 4. 6.
I got a
Okay.
2 plus 1, 3.
Now you don't absolutely always use like an average for the group when you do this, certainly, because one large person ruins the group stealth, or one loud person ruins the
Bumbling
group
elf.
stealth.
Apparently,
Look,
even
I'm
I'm
the
stealthier
best.
than her.
But
Him.
I would like you just to imagine what it sounds like when there is a group of people running up and down a metal spiral staircase. It reverberates. It's loud. It's just
I can hear it from my living
annoying.
room. I have one at home.
She knows.
So with most of you doing a really good job on your stealth, or at least a pretty good job on your stealth, you've taken most of that clatter out. That doesn't mean that you've somehow evaporated or done away with the large explosion from earlier when you set everything
Ooh, or the screaming.
right. But going up the stairs, it might only sound like one person is clumsily climbing the stairs right now, and you guys have passed the 2nd floor and you're headed towards the 3rd. I believe that we have Bartholomew in the lead still, and you're the first person to reach the 3rd floor, and the rest of you are still headed up.
Yes, and I rolled a 19, so.
Yeah, you're stealthy as everything.
Okay.
Nobody would be able to hear or see you when you got up to that point, and there's an open archway, much like the 2nd floor had.
Can I just roll an open investigation to see if I can see just.
An investigation would have you going inside
Perception?
and looking up close, but we'll do perception for a look at a distance.
17.
Yeah, you got a really good view of this. You're able to see what looks like 20 gingerbread men, and they're all on. They're hanging on a rack, so they're. You're seeing them lined up like they've maybe just been finished cooking and they're now cooling.
Terrifying, okay.
Yeah, of
And
course.
you see a person at the end, an actual human being, holding a tool up and carving something on the one that's closest to the end. And while they clearly knew that something was coming up or that some explosion had made the stove below collapse, in this room, the stove structure that was going from the bottom up is still intact. And there are still trays that you can see in this, and it looks like on these giant trays are more cooking cookies that could be pulled off the racks.
Okay. So I'm just gonna whisper down that there's gingerbread men and a guy up here.
I'm going to. Have we all gathered up at the top now? Or are we still.
Yeah, right about now, it seems like that'd be about right.
I'm still
Am I-
invisible.
Am I any more
Oh yeah.
better, or am I still great?
Yep.
Just floating along.
Just tie him to something and while we go fight.
I'll take care of the gingerbread man.
They're not
I
alive
can, I
yet.
can go in really quick. Maybe
I mean,
I
you
can.
can destroy them. I just
I
mean.
don't know, slit this guy's
Yeah, I
throat or
know.
something.
You can definitely try.
At least get a head start.
How far away is he? Can I see all this yet?
You just now reached that floor. I don't know if they're communicating with you or if you're looking in.
'Cause I could do a whole person.
About this time, though, Swageki is clattering up to the top, and while the rest of you felt really stealthy, he was definitely not. You were the 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was a 3.
3, yeah.
Yeah. It's like a chunk in the Goonies.
Yeah, I don't have anything on me. I don't know what's clattering. So
For somebody so small, you make a lot of
I'm
noise.
scared, okay?
Real class.
Something about the way that he climbed up the stairs got the attention of the person that was carving on one of the cookies, and he turned his head and actually makes eye contact with you, and the thing that he's carving with, he holds up and he swipes it, and a door slams shut in front of you, and you guys are all now separated from this person behind a thick wooden door. It has a metal ring that's attached to it, and you could pick it up, and that's how you would try to open the door.
Let's not.
Floating unconsciously.
Door, we can kiss that guy.
Maybe reach for hitting the door. That always
I'm
goes
gonna
really
cast
well.
Firebolt on the door.
No.
Go ahead.
Oh shit. Cool. Well, there we go.
Set the door on fire in front of
23.
us.
Jesus Christ.
Alright, that hits and roll for damage.
She's gonna use me like a ping pong paddle and just like.
18.
The door bursts into flame
Oh yeah, it does.
and splinters at the same time. It's a powerful, powerful spell you hit it with. And I'm not sure if it's dry wood or strong magic, but within just a few moments, the door is cracked and hanging from its hinges. And on the other side, through the smoke and through the fire,
The man just makes eye
you
contact
see
again.
20 gingerbread men that are faceless without any decoration or faces on them. They've all left their lined up position and they're all facing you in the door. And standing up at the very back of them and looking up is the person that you saw. And while you're looking at this person who's holding his wand up, you get the impression human, darker complexion, eyes that are hard to make out at a distance other than the fact that they're very angry. And now we'll roll for initiative.
Ooh. I don't even remember our initiatives. We have pretty low.
A 5 is acceptable.
14.
Are you gonna?
I don't like not rolling for Goosey.
Oh yeah, like you see.
He's with the carpet.
Sure.
And the squid.
The squid.
Maybe he's dead.
25 to 20.
They're up there playing Connect 4.
Ooh, Tar stole it.
Oh, that happened. Oh, that's what was chattering on the back. Just, oh, yeah.
No 25 to 20. 20 to 15. 15 to 20.
17.
Ten to 15.
14.
I like the crouch couch.
Who's that leave us with? 5 to 10.
5.
Whoa, awful. I'm sorry.
I mean, it makes sense with what's going on.
Yeah.
I wonder, does rage take me out of this?
Wait a minute.
I think you'd have to be able to rage, you know?
Oh.
He's a happy
Oh, yeah.
barbarian. Yo, spaghetti.
yawning. Oh yeah. I don't know if we're gonna be using figures, but I don't have mine with me, Jason.
Okay.
Burger.
You
could make me hold my hammer and, like, spin me and push me at him.
And we'll be doing theater of the mind without a map on this one.
Okay.
Mostly because everybody's all kind of on top of each other at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I know one spell that'll stop her.
All right. Bartholomew, you were the first to act.
Okay, so
You're looking through a smoldering door at 20 gingerbread zombies and a very angry looking mage.
okay. So for my first one, I'm gonna shoot once at the guy, and then use Horde Breaker to shoot 2 gingerbread men standing next to each other.
Alright, roll for the first.
Not good. 15.
That was for the...
Man.
that hits.
Okay, cool. I have to remember how to roll all these because I haven't shot a bow in so long. And just 3 damage to him.
Okay.
Any modifiers?
Yeah, that was with it. Okay, and then for the first gingerbread man, it's a I rolled a 19, so
That totally hits.
I really want to hit a gingerbread man.
2 4 damage,
Hit a crunchy.
and then the other
My
one
hammer. Just haven't used it
a
in
9
so long.
for a gingerbread man. I don't think that hits.
So you just listed off your attack rolls, right? And the second one was a 9, and the first one was a...
No, for the first one, I
feel like
rolled a
Agent Washington
19,
right
and
now.
then I
Yeah,
took 4 damage.
those were the man.
Episode
And then the
of
gingerbread
Versus Blue
men,
where he
you
was,
rolled
like,
twice, right?
No, not yet.
gone mad, like sleep deprived, food deprived, all that stuff. And there was like a battle
So
going on. He
first
just walked
gingerbread
in the
man,
building, got
18.
shot.
Which one did you roll a 4 on?
Huh? Did I roll a 4?
Did you roll something after you rolled the 14? I mean, after you rolled the 15 on the person?
Yeah.
She
I
rolled
did.
the damage.
I just think like 3 damage to him.
And 19 to hit for is the damage
Yeah.
for the next one.
Yeah, so that was for the next gingerbread man, was 4 damage. And so this is the last gingerbread man that I'm rolling.
I see, you rolled a 19 and did 4 damage.
Uh-huh. 14.
Hits.
Oops, 6.
That was still pretty neat.
Alright, so that's my turn. Done.
Elusive D3. How the
With Hordebreaker, you're attacking one of
rolled
them
the
and then the
D3.
one right next to it, right?
Yes. Because
Okay.
I can attack something and then another of the same one in the 5 foot.
I rolled my D3 and it landed like this.
All right, when you let the arrow fly and you hit the mage, it hits him up here in the collarbone area, and he's not wearing anything that would protect that, and he lets out a yelp, letting you know that
He's
your
not happy.
your arrow hit home. The
it's
gingerbread men that you hit didn't seem to react at all, but they took crumbly damage.
Okay.
They just don't seem to notice or have pain or consciousness.
I remember when they used to scream when they had mouths.
When they had time to put mouths on them, yeah.
I like them better without mouths.
About to make
Screaming
him
is
scream.
just so painful.
All right, the mage
One
has the
13th of a kid.
next shot.
Uh-oh.
And since he just got shot with an arrow, he's going to aim his rage and attack directly at Bart.
That's fun. Alright, I still have, let me see how long bark skin lasts. Up to 1 hour, yeah, I still have bark skin.
Okay, and that makes you a 16?
17.
17.
Oh no, it's 16, you were right the first time.
16. I got an 18.
Oh.
I know.
That sucks.
I know. This was a...
What did it do?
Dear.
he threw a dagger, which was a...
The dagger of infinite whatevers.
No.
I do still
Alright,
have-
so then the damage on that hit for that is going to be
Just imagine how many gingerbread men you could
5.
eat by just throwing that.
Okay,
3 plus the 2.
I can deal with that.
Alright, so you take a dagger. The dagger hits you in probably the same place. It seems
I
to be
know,
almost
which
the
makes me
same
think
place where
this
you
is
hit
really
him with
funny
an
what's
arrow.
happening.
So you guys just went whack whack,
Okay.
and that completes his turn for this particular round, and that takes us to Hagatha.
Okay, how far away are the gingerbread men?
They're all clustered together because the room that you're looking at is about 25 by 25.
And so I'm within 30 feet of all of them?
You're just outside of the room. Yeah.
Gonna do the thing.
Holds up.
You guys wanted some
Her holy symbol of the Raven
points?
Queen.
Sucks.
Says, by the power of the Raven Queen, I send you all back to hell. And turn undead.
Once we get off this moving staircase, I'll be ready to kick ass. Yeah, you will, Marco. Yeah, you will.
We're waiting on you, buddy.
How's the staircase going?
I thought you were going to go a different direction. Turn Undead is going to have them back away from you as far as possible, right?
No. If they're CR 1/2 or less, they will be destroyed instantly.
I thought that was destroy undead.
Same thing.
Oh, okay.
It just becomes more potent.
Oh. Dope. I say in Marcone.
Dope. Dope.
That's so neat.
Read it to me so I don't make a mistake, please.
Okay, with turn undead, each undead within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw against DC 15. And if they fail, because they are lower level creatures, they're destroyed. CR 1/2 or less is destroyed.
Just dead.
This is how you did that mass
Yeah.
murder last time? Okay.
The very many that not any.
So 30 saving throws.
Alright, here's the saving throw. This will represent all of them?
Oh shoot.
Should just be in groups of 5. I feel like it's unfair.
Or 10.
I know, but they're all in one clump, so, and they're all just freshly out of the oven. And
They're still
No
warm.
whammies, no
we have
whammies.
about 6 minutes left, so we're gonna have this one make or break. Ready, Zoe?
And what's the
What's the
next
DC?
one? 15.
What is it?
2. They failed.
It made.
I like them.
You made a large pile of dust.
You ever seen a wizard crap his pants?
Whoa!
Hey guys, they disappeared again.
This is a fun visual to picture. There was a very brave mage attacking you from behind 20 zombie cookies. In like a fraction of a second, they turn to dust and fall to the ground, leaving him standing there with nothing between him and you. And so his eyes get big, but it's not his turn.
Guys, it's like the ship all over again.
Bonus action. Spiritual weapon.
Oh.
Right next to him.
Oh yeah.
Spiritual weapon pops into existence.
Short
A
answers.
sickle, the kind that you might see the Grim Reaper himself carrying around.
Sickle or scythe?
A scythe?
Yeah,
What are you
it's
doing?
A sickle and a scythe are...
It's very scythy.
Bitchin'.
You ever play Call of the Dead?
Sickle's like
Let me
a.
make sure I can actually do that.
The sickle's more curved,
Round,
so
it's like-
It's like a
blah. It's what Jane and Tammy uses.
Oh, that's cool. It's
Yeah,
it's the
I can do
wall item in Call of the Dead in Black Ops 4.
It is. They took out the Bowie knife.
Bonus
For that.
It
action.
was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really
It was a
cool.
water.
Alright,
Okay.
you can't attack with it, you just pop it into existence,
Oh,
right?
it can attack. Yeah.
You get an attack with it also?
Yeah, it has its own action.
Rock on.
Okay, let's see. Where is it? Spiritual weapon. +7 to hit. Well, I rolled an 8. Well, I rolled a 1.
Oh,
A 1
Plus
is a
seven.
miss.
So-
Like no matter what, right?
That misses.
Yeah.
It misses, so the spiritual weapon, on its own,
It's
swings
a warning
wide
shot.
and does not harvest any mages just yet. That takes us to Alma's turn. Good round. Good job killing 20 things all at once.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
It's what I do.
I'm going to use my. I'm still invisible. I'm going to use my movement to walk up in front of the wizard.
She's just
And-
got me on a stick.
No, I left you behind.
you use Marcone to hit him.
I left you there, and I
Wow.
walk up in front of the wizard, and I crouch, and I look him in the face, and I take invisibility off. I let it go,
Bye.
and I'm like, I think it's best that you just come with us calmly. And I'm gonna try and
She's
intimidate
out
him to
of
back
nowhere.
Okay, go ahead and roll for intimidation. Your action is to intimidate.
Forward on critical roll.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Dope. I wish I could do that. But I'm too.
15.
Hmm.
He's intimidated. It's not his turn, so he can't do much.
Yeah.
But he certainly would like to not be in the position he's in right now, and what you said made him pretty scared. Maybe it's not what you said, but how you just materialized in front of him. So
Oh,
now he's
yeah.
not exactly sure how many enemies there are that he's
We're gonna
not seeing.
pass our turn so that we can get him to do whatever he's doing by the end of the.
Swageki,
I was
it's
just
your turn.
gonna, cause you're down a few health.
Yeah.
I was just gonna cast level 1 healing word on you.
Okay. What does that bring me back up to?
That brings you up to. Let me just try D4. That brings you up to. That's a 1. That
Thank
brings you up to
you.
4.
Almost all that you've lost.
I was so close. That's all I got.
Okay. Marco, roll Constitution save.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Oh. You save. You pop out of a stupor,
Ah!
and when you do, you find yourself floating a little above the ground, a little more than you were before. And that was going to constitute your action, but you have movement if you want to use it.
Just kind of look at the ground and land, and then just point up and you're like, I'm back, baby!
I'm incorrect about that Constitution save being your action. You have an action if you'd like to take it. You earned your action back by making your save.
Awesome. I'm just gonna... I'm gonna walk up to the guy, because he doesn't seem to be moving anywhere, and I'm just gonna go behind him and use my many feet of ropes and just tie his hands together. I want to do that. Can I roll for something to do that?
I
No.
don't think that's one turn's worth.
Or
I'm
I
not-
could
I'm
at
not able
least... Can I hold him? Like, hold his arms
Sorry.
behind
You
him?
would like to grapple him.
Grapple him is the
Yeah.
word I'm looking for.
Roll to grapple. That'll be a strength.
Oh, strength. I've got some of that. Or nat 20 works, you know.
He's so
So-
We're just
grappled
winning
right now.
this
You walk
game,
behind him.
Is
guys.
they doing good?
You reach around and you grab both of your wrists with each of your hands and you make one of the strongest grappled bear hugs you could. He might want to get away, but he's already so intimidated by what happened with Alma that he doesn't even seem to be trying to get away from you. He's just accepting that he's captured.
I'm gonna, as he's grappled, I'm gonna kind of put my head on his shoulder and be like... and that's all. I'm just gonna, like, chuckle in his ear.
Okay, does that go to me?
This one's still drunk.
It does, and I would say that we're almost out of combat since there's one enemy and he seems mostly grappled right now and he's failed to get out.
I was gonna pass my turn.
But it is
anyway.
Bart's turn.
Yeah, I was just gonna pass it.
Okay, that would make it Hag's turn.
I thought the guy was after me.
Oh.
Or was him throwing a knife at me a reaction?
No, you're correct.
Okay.
I was skipping him because he's off to the side on my little list.
Okay.
So there he is.
Are we still in combat?
Technically.
Well, we're taking it in combat until we get to this guy's turn, which makes me wonder how I could have skipped over him when I was just trying to get to his turn. You get to the point where he's finally able to react to what's been going on, and he immediately says, "I give up. I give up. I'm just trying to make some money, making a living. So I was supposed to protect this place, and I failed. Now, if I could just leave, maybe we could all leave."
This is a pretty shitty
Nah.
way to make a living.
I agree.
I agree. I certainly don't want to die having made a living doing this.
I'm pretty sure the kids that you killed didn't want to die either.
What are you talking about?
Do you know what these gingerbread people are made out of? One kid, 13 gingerbread people.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's correct. Ask the queen.
I'm gonna walk up to him and
It's
slap him across the face. Like I'm gonna jump up to do
We
it.
all have to roll
So-
initiative again.
I'm gonna whisper in his ear, or like not whisper in his ear, it's just like because I'm still holding him hostage. And be like, I mean, why do you think the kill undead thing worked? What do you think they were?
At this point, you see the purple smoke has risen
Oh,
up to
shit.
the third floor and is beginning to fill in from the bottom of the room you're in and slowly working its way up. It's not expanding rapidly, but it's expanding. I would say it's up to your knees when all of you notice it together, up to your waist.
Aw.
We should go.
Great idea.
We
Let's
go.
go.
Alright.
We go.
So all of you rush out to the spiral staircase and go up.
Yep.
Can we just leave him?
As you go up, there's
With the
a
guy.
yeah.
No, we should just leave him to get engulfed by that stuff.
No, I want to interrogate
No,
him.
we
As you go up, you pass a fourth archway that leads into a room.
Can I stick my head in?
You could.
with
It's
more
completely empty.
gingerbread man.
The witch is in there.
There's a table that you look like you could work up and work on. Looks like you could walk up and work on it. It's a workbench, but there's nothing at all that would even make that.
Work of like it's not.
There's nothing to see.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
I hardly even should have mentioned the table, but there's a table. What am I gonna do? I'm gotta be honest with
We
you.
need to go to the table.
We need it.
Thank you.
As you continue your way up, as the smoke expands beneath you, it takes you up and up and up until you reach a platform that looks like it's in a small hut, and you know you're above ground now because there are cracks in the wood of this hut, and there are cracks in the ceiling that would normally keep a lot of the rain out, but not all of it, and sunlight is coming in through those cracks. And there's a doorway that's easy enough to open, and so I imagine somebody grabs the handle and opens it.
Yes.
And it opens up right by the side of the lake where you'd started in a
Notice
hut
the hut.
that you hadn't necessarily seen.
How did we miss this hut?
I call for Goosey. Goosey?
You hear Goosey respond to you because he does love you. He responds to you. He's on the other side of the river. It turns out you popped up on the opposite side of the river from where you went under.
Oh.
So it's in the distance.
Also, all the stuff at home.
You're above
Also
ground.
the squid.
You've got pockets filled with treasure. You two. You've got a belt filled with 2 rings and 14 platinum. You are no longer having any problems with being enchanted by any weird chemicals. And all of you will join me next Sunday, and we'll figure out exactly what's going to happen next.
Now we have to fight the squid.
We
Thank
did
you
it.
very much. Yay! Great team. All
As
right.
Marcone said.
Awesome.
Dope.
So, those of you that are still watching the stream, thank you for hanging out with us. We're going to
Any
transition to a different group. And, oh, wait, yeah, please don't leave. Didn't we have a big giant one we had to tend to?
Oh, we reached our goal.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
200.
That'll
We
be...
hit the goal.
We got
got
cinnamon to eat
$200.
and all kinds of stuff that has to happen.
Good thing that wasn't us. Alright, let's go, guys.
I'm trying to... Well, yeah, because then you pushed us over the top.
I did donate to go.
You know what? Have a seat.
Oh boy.
Have a seat.
Alright, but I'm not eating cinnamon. You can't make me.
That's true.
That's
You were
an
never
Aussie
volunteered for that horrible thing. Somebody else volunteered for that.
Oh, it was you.
You're bored.
Okay.
Bet we're gonna get one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
I don't have a hat to take off to.
That guy.
Wait, hold on.
That
Roll
guy
that
is
dice
loaded.
again.
No.
Okay.
This.
I'm just-
I mean, I would love
What
for
are
it
the
to do something else.
odds?
You know, I
1,
got
6.
three times
Miss Kurtz?
in the first few minutes.
Yes, but
I'll call
how
Miss
many
Kurtz
times
right
in a
now.
row? That's crazy.
We rolled a d6 4 times and they were all 1. What are the odds?
We do sometimes talk about how microwaving dice is. It's rumored to you microwave it on the side you want down, so then all the weight goes down, and it. I don't know. We're not very good at cheating, so we've just heard about it. We've never actually followed through. Oh, what in the world?
12. I think
That's
we've had
not a
12
one.
before.
I was really hoping it'd be 3.
Why?
Beatbox for
Beatboxing.
20 seconds.
Yeah, see, I practiced once. I'm ready for the next one.
That was fun.
That was really funny.
12? Hey, we've had a 12 before.
Oh.
Make up a song about the DM.
Introduce yourself.
The DM's awesome. He does no wrong.
Should we get him
He
the
sucks at Foursquare.
mandolin?
Sometimes he tries to beatbox, but that's not his forte. But everything else is. Go DM.
Yeah!
Wow. So much better than beatboxing. All right.